92nd year, Army has played here at Michie Stadium. Today they play their final game in 2016 as they welcome in Morgan State in a game for Army with critical implications on it. Prior to the game, 17 Army seniors were honored. Jeff Monken, Superintendent Bob Caslin among those on the field to pay tribute to the seniors, the firsties here at West Point, as we get set to bring you Army football. A pleasure and an honor to be with you alongside my broadcast partner, Jay Feely, John Schriffen on the field. My name is Ben Holden. Jay, Army's 5-5, lost last week against Notre Dame. They can still have a winning season, and they can still go to a bowl game. But this game, they're a prohibitive favorite in it. They should win it. They have to win it.
They have to win this game. You're right. Jeff Monken is building this program. He wants to take the next step. That means having a winning season and then getting to a bowl game. They have to win this game. They're going to continue to pound the ball and try and impose their will.
Two guys that have imposed their will, two seniors, two firsties as they call them here on post. Andrew King and Jeremy Timp, they're the heart and soul of this team.
They are the backbone of what Jeff Monken has done. They built this not only defensively, but the entire team. The playmaker, Andrew King, 32.5 tackles for a loss. Both these guys over 200 tackles. They get in the backfield, they make plays, and they make it tough on offenses. Jeremy Timp, he's the stalwart. He's the guy that Jay Bateman says, I can always rely on. I know he'll be in the right place, he'll do the right thing, and he'll make the play.
All right, for Morgan State, they're a ball team that started this season with a 2-2 record. They've lost 5 in a row. They've got a graduate transfer at their quarterback position in Chris Andrews, guy with some experience, and you noticed some things prior to the game about him.
Yeah, I like watching him. We hadn't seen a lot of him, so I went down there, and he's got a better arm than I thought. He throws the ball with good velocity, and he's going to take chances today. I expect him to test this young secondary to try and go. It'll be tough to run the ball, so they're going to go through the air and try and take advantage of the two freshmen starting at corner for Army.
We'll certainly keep our eyes on that as we move along in the game. Speaking of quarterbacks, let's get down to John Schriffen. He's got more on the Army quarterback situation. John.
Well, Ben, after missing last week's loss against Notre Dame, Army will have their starting quarterback, Ahmad Bradshaw, back from injury. Coach Monken told us yesterday in meetings, it is important to get him in there early, get him some confidence, get his rhythm going, because not only do they have the Army-Navy game coming up, if they win today, they could have a bowl game coming up. Now, one cause for concern for this coaching staff, the kicking situation. It has not been consistent for this team all season. That's why earlier this week, they actually held open kicking tryouts to find a replacement. Well, they couldn't find anyone who could be eligible right away. Therefore, in typical kicking situations today, look for Army to be aggressive with the play calling. Ben?
Thank you, John. We'll look forward to that. Brent Davis, the offensive coordinator, may be busy in the booth for Army. Fred Ferrier on the left. He's the interim head coach at Morgan State. We'll get into that a little bit more. And Jeff Monken, the third-year head coach of this Army team. Good turnout here. Jay, it's hard to believe it's the third week in November, isn't it?
We're stealing. This is beautiful weather.
I feel like you're out west, back home, right? Beautiful day here at Michie Stadium. Senior day underway for Army. They kick it away. William King back deep for Morgan State, number 22 with a return. And he's dropped just shy of the 20-yard line. Nice job getting down there by Jared Jones on the tackle for Army. And Morgan State will come on. They'll have their offense coming on, and that's our Chick-fil-A starting lineups. And Chris Andrews, Jay, you told us about him, the particulars on him, and he comes out trying to lead this team on a good opening possession here.
It's been up and down. You can see it, 9 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, less than 50% of his passes completed. But today it's all about taking shots and then making those shots count.
Receivers to watch for: Martin, Spearman, Poteet, Malbro, pump fake. Now there's a shot, Jay. They put it out there and up, and it's nearly intercepted. It was Jalen McClinton, the freshman back there, that broke it up.
They got two freshmen, McClinton and Elijah Riley, 23. They're going to be tested all day because Morgan State believes if we're going to win, we have to do it going after these two young corners. They think they have an advantage in the playmaking and the skill and speed of their receivers.
That was Martin that went out of the game. They told us he's the dynamic guy they've got. And they're going to stoppage a play here.
It's a legal penalty.
Yeah. Martin came back in.
It's a legal substitution.
Yeah, no question. And our referee.
Illegal substitution, the 11 on offense. It's a 5-yard penalty, second down.
ACC crew today, that's Ron Cherry, our referee. Chick-fil-A lineup for Morgan State. Jay, the rest of their starters, who stands out?
Well, you saw him just now take a shot to Thomas Martin, their wide receiver. He is the most explosive wide receiver. They have to find ways to get him the ball, take shots down the field, and test this young secondary.
He's a senior out of Naples, Florida. Some confusion here, just 18 seconds into the game for Morgan State. And after the penalty, it is a 2nd and 15 upcoming for Chris Andrews, the product of Queens, New York. On the ground they go. It was Eric Harrell, the sophomore, their lead guy. Lamont Brown, who played here 3 years ago, has been dinged up. Chick-fil-A lineups for Army's defense. Who are we looking at there?
Well, it all starts in the middle with King and Timp. And Andrew King, we said it, heart and soul this defense, aggressive. Look for him to try to get to Andrews before he throws. When we asked Jay Bateman, what do? You know they're going to take shots. Bateman said, get to the quarterback and hit him before he can throw the ball.
See what they do here. It's 3rd and 12. Moss with 48 tackles, 5 pass breaks up, and a peck. Here's Andrews. Plenty of room on that far side. He's going to try and run for it, and took a shot. And they dropped him at the 27-yard line, so it brings up 4th and short. And it was Brinson who got help from King on the tackle there, bringing up 4th down for Morgan State.
Both of these teams have struggled kicking the ball, whether it's punting, kicking field goals. They have struggled with special teams. You can see a new punter in here this week for Morgan State. I watched him in warm-ups. He either hits a bomb, a home run, or he shanks it. It's one or the other.
So that is Chris Clack you were referring to. You saw Malik Magoo, who's back near his 35-yard line. And Magoo will let it bounce into his waiting hands at the 39. And a minimal return there for Malik Magoo, about a yard. The speedster Magoo could not get free that time. And there's Ahmad Bradshaw, 35-yard punt. And Chick-fil-A lineups for Army. And Ahmad Bradshaw, you mentioned Jay didn't play last week. They said he could have played, but they went with Carter instead. But they want him to get some confidence.
He was a little beat up. They need him to get confidence before they go to Navy, and he's their playmaker. You know, he's not really the breakaway speed guy, but he runs so hard and physical and makes good decisions.
Darnell Woolfolk is the fullback, and Darnell with a good run gets about 8, does Woolfolk. So he's been splitting time with Davidson. The rest of the offense, Jay, who stands out there today for you?
Well, when you look at this offense, everything is predicated on fullback success. Andy Davidson and Woolfolk, you just saw. Davidson hasn't been the same since early in the season when he got hurt against Lafayette. They need him to get back to that form.
This is Bradshaw. Bradshaw gets the first down to about the 46. Roberts on the tackle. Chick-fil-A lineup. The defense for Morgan State. Who do you like there?
I like Jai Franklin a lot. Fred Ferrier told us that he's the best defensive end in their conference. He leads the team with 13.5 tackles for a loss. They need him to play big, get into the backfield, disrupt that triple option offense.
So a 6-yard gain for Bradshaw there. 1st and 10 for Army. Second FCS opponent Army has had here at Michie Stadium this season. They pounded Lafayette. Pose out wide left, and movement, and flags fly, and right side of that Army line moved. Ron Cherry will give us the verdict once they discuss.
False start, offense, number 60. It's a 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Justin Gilbert, he was the guilty one on that play.
He switched to right guard this week, had been playing left guard the entire season. Had to kind of switch up their offensive line, a number of injuries.
First and 15 for the Black Knights. They give it off. It's Davidson. And a short gain, maybe a couple. Jay, your extra points today, what are those?
Well, for Morgan State, take advantage of Army's young secondary. You saw him take a shot on the very first play, and then defensively stop the fullbacks. Everything starts with fullback success for the triple option. Army, don't turn the ball over, and make them earn it on offense. No big plays through the air for that Morgan State offense.
Gain of 2 on that last play. Now here's the pitch. And trying to get inside of the 45 was Tyler Campbell, the sophomore. He was stopped by the corner, Darius Johnson.
This Army offense can't afford to get behind in the sticks. They did it against Notre Dame. When you have 3rd and long against a triple option offense, defensively, you have the advantage. That's why those little penalties, false starts, they back you up 5 yards. They have such a big impact on a triple option offense.
3rd and 7, Bradshaw, man open, floats it, Asbury's got it. Jordan Asbury gets the first down, and Army moves the chains on their opening possession here at Mikey.
Important first down for Army and an important pass for Ahmad Bradshaw. He's struggled throughout the year, only 43% completion, 3 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. That's a big play for that offense.
Gain of 10 on the pass to Jordan Asbury. Asbury in motion. Now they look to the sideline, to the placard. Fullback is Woolfolk, and Woolfolk plows his way ahead just across the 30-yard line. Terrell Roberts, his 2nd tackle of the game. Look there at Woolfolk, and Ian Davidson. Cole Masix had some big moments too.
Woolfolk was injured, didn't practice a lot of last week, and then had over 70 yards rushing against Notre Dame. Davidson didn't have a single carry.
This is Bradshaw. Shuffler Poe. Got a little bit more. He's got the first down. Ian McBurrow on the tackle for Morgan State.
Bradshaw looking good so far. He's got that brace on his right knee. That's why he didn't play last week against Notre Dame.
Chris Carter played, Magoo played. Here goes Davidson right up the gut. Andy Davidson, the march to the end zone. Touchdown, Army. 23-yard run for Andy Davidson. Their leader in touchdown runs takes in another one, as Wilson will come on and try the point after. Bradshaw the holder. Wilson looked as good as he's looked all year in that department, Jay, as he makes it 7-0.
Andy Davidson getting the ball the first time today, putting it in the end zone, looking like his old self.
Football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by USAA. Insurance, banking, and investments tailored for the military community. By Northrop Grumman. And by Golden Corral, the best buffet in the USA.
So some great images from Morgan State and Grambling in 1968 was the first historically black college football games played in New York City at the old Yankee Stadium. Of course, Morgan State upset Grambling 9-7 that game. Andy Davidson, first touchdown since October the 8th, Jay. His 8th rushing touchdown of the season. 8 plays, 60 yards, took 349, 8 yards per play for Army there.
Jeff Monken loves to see that. Brent Davis told us early in the season he ran reckless, and he hadn't been doing that because of the injuries. Looked good on that run.
He certainly did. Heard before that Lafayette game we were here for. But he was also dinged up, he said, the UTEP game before that.
Had a shoulder injury, an ankle injury.
Yeah. Said he had a good week of practice leading up to it. Here's Wilson. Toe meets leather again. King fumbled it in the end zone. He'll take a knee. So it'll be a 1st and 10 from the 25 coming up for Morgan State. Break down week 11 in the NFL as our panel of former pro quarterbacks gets you inside the minds of the biggest stars in football. NFL Monday QB delivered by FedEx Monday at 5 Eastern only on CBS Sports Network. Cora Cadets, it's a big week here on Post at West Point. Was branch night Thursday. Morgan State, nice tribute by them, Jay, wearing the American flag look for their logo. They're also honoring the late Brandon Jackson, the story we'll get into as we move along. And broadcast the former Army cornerback. Here's Andrews, flings it, man wide open, catch made. It'll be a gain of 11. It was Landon Malbrough on the receiving end of that Andrews pass.
That's the strong arm that I talked about in the open. I was surprised at how well he threw the ball, how strong his arm was. But you could see that was from the far hash all the way across the field to the sidelines, and Andrews put it on the money.
Yep, so Morgan State, the 36, their second possession of the game. They tried on the ground, but you are not going to get far with Andrew King waiting for you. It was Eric Harrell who met Andrew King.
No, this Army defense is strong against the run. They gave up 261 yards to Notre Dame last week, but throughout this season, it's been tough sledding. And Morgan State, they only average 118 per game on the ground.
Army defense has been ranked number
as high
as number 2 in the country. Jay Bateman has done a whale of a job with his group. Here's the pitch now. Morgan State taking a page on Army's book. It's Harrell again.
I was thinking that exact line as I watched it. Yes, absolutely. You're gonna come down. We can give you some of your own medicine right there. Nice little play.
Yeah. The midline pitch.
Nice blocking. Positive, productive run. Get it in manageable 3rd and 4.
Gain of 6 for Eric Harrell, the sophomore out of Orlando. They need 4 to convert. 4th down upcoming. Andrews, the lefty, missing there, looking for Grayling Harrison. So what do? Looks like they're thinking about going for it against Bateman's defense. Now they changed their mind. Jay Bateman, what a job he's done, Jay. Think of the parts he doesn't have. You lost Steven Johnson and camp. Brandon Jackson tragically passed.
Lost 4 starting quarterbacks so far. Steve Johnson, Marcus Hyatt throughout the season as well.
Yep.
Josh Jenkins before the season even began.
And flags fly here. Clack on to punt. His first punt was 35. They're going to kick this one again.
False start. Offense, number 4. It's a 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Dedrick Jones, the guilty one there on the penalty against the Morgan State Bears.
The gunner lined up on the end of the line, got a little quick start there. Malik Magoo is dangerous back there. Had a 58-yard punt return against Wake if he can get an opportunity to get this ball.
Bad punt here. Are they going to spot this thing out? That's the question.
This may have been about a 10-yard punt.
Yeah, you're right. They're still going. It's going to be on Morgan State's side of the field. Looks like
11 yards. I told you, he's either a bomber or he shakes it. He hasn't punted a lot. They've both been struggling when it comes to special teams.
Beautiful West Point Saturday here. 7:38 to go in the first quarter. Mentioned Rico Kennedy wearing number 28 for Morgan State. For more on that, here's John Schriffen. John.
Well, normally Rico Kennedy from Morgan State wears number 46, but he decided to switch his jersey for this game in honor of the late Brandon Jackson for Army. Now, Rico Kennedy actually went to the prep school here at Army before deciding to actually enroll at Morgan State, and he was actually good friends with Brandon Jackson. Coach Farrier told us he came up to him early this week and asked if he could switch his number as a tribute to Brandon, and Coach said, of course. Now, we will also, he put the number 28 sticker on all of the Morgan State players' helmet, as well as the Military Appreciation Morgan logo. Guys, it is a very touching moment before the game, and they all have Brandon Jackson in their memories.
Yeah, it really is, John. Thanks. Outstanding. And Jeff Monken, both the coaches, just the word that came out more than once was the respect. Farrier talked about his team coming here and playing. It's an honor for any team that comes in here to play, but when you've got a tie like that, you can't help but get a little choked up. Army on 1st and 10. Woolfolk in the backfield. Instead, Bradshaw tried to throw it for Poe. It was knocked down along the line. So 2nd and 10 upcoming as they looked for Poe.
Bradshaw's pass deflected at the line by
Forces football is proudly supported today by GMC.
When they throw to Poe, they usually take shots down the field. You don't often see him throw little quick screens to him.
And number 28 on both 28-yard lines in honor of Brandon Jackson. Here goes Darnell Woolfolk. Got a block downfield. Cuts back inside. Woolfolk still on his feet. Inside of the 5. 1st and goal, Army. Darnell Woolfolk breaks off a big chunk of real estate. 42-yard run.
And that is a first down.
Excellent blocking on the right side of the line, and Woolfolk just explodes through. We talked about the open for Morgan State. You had to stop the fullbacks. Davidson scored the touchdown on the last series. Woolfolk gets through the line there.
Rico Kennedy, the touchdown saving tackle. Here goes Bradshaw. Ahmad Bradshaw walks in. 2 drives. 2 Army touchdowns. Woolfolk with a big block to help Bradshaw get in. 13-0 on the 5-yard run.
They were down 21-0 to Notre Dame last week early.
Special teams miscues continue. Look at this. Wilson just heaves it into the end zone. And Jay, we've seen about everything on the unfortunate side of special teams here this year. You can see, I mean, it's
the
just
special teams have been atrocious. There's
Yes.
no question. And Jeff Monken has put a priority on it, trying to fix it, but he hasn't done it so far. But the Army offensive line has imposed their will so far in this game, up 13-0.
6:58 remaining in the opening quarter. 13-0 Army. And we're going to look back at the point after. What happened here, Jay?
Well, they caught us by surprise,
Yeah.
but it also caught Army by surprise. You can see Ahmad Bradshaw, the holder, was still looking down at the spot. Blake Wilson, the kicker, hadn't even taken his steps yet. So, you know, I don't know what the long snapper, Scott Flanick, was doing there. This is the same guy who snapped it over the head of the punter against North Texas. They just had so many problems when it comes to special teams. We go to practice. We see what kind of priority Jeff Monken places on special teams, but it hasn't translated to the field.
Well, he was a special teams guy among the many things he's done in his coaching career, so you know it means an awful lot to him. It's about 3 phases. Offense, defense, and special teams got to be sound, and that's an area Army's got to get cleaned up here today. And before they play Navy in a couple of weeks, this is Dedrick Jones. He got popped. Oh, did he get hit at the 20? Army's kick coverage has been good, and the times they've sent it down the field today.
All year, this is the one phase that has been good until the first kickoff of the game last week against Notre Dame. They take it back for a touchdown, but good coverage there.
No question. Cameron Jones on the tackle. Time now for GMC's Engineered for the Next Level. We take a look at senior Xavier Moss, his branch assignment in Engineer, and interesting career he's had.
Well, he was a wide receiver. Last year, they moved him to safety. They felt that his speed and athleticism would help them defensively. So it's so cool to be at Branch Knight and watch those guys.
It really was an honor. On the ground, Lamont Brown III. Brown has played here at Mikey Stadium back in 2013 when these two teams met for the first time. 19 carries for 75 yards. He's been dealing with some injuries, but they want to see what they can get out of him today.
He had an ACL tear to both knees in 14 and 15. So he's been through a lot in his career, continuing to fight and be there for his team.
Second and 8. Quarterback in the game is DeAndre Harris, throws the strike. And it's going to be 3rd down and looks like less than a yard. Landon Malbrough on the receiving end from the freshman Harris. Gain of 7.
Interesting that they'd make a change. You know, we talked to Coach Fred Ferry, who also is the offensive coordinator, not just the head coach, did not tell us that they were planning on making a change to Harris. So we'll have to watch that to see if Andrews is okay. They just thought maybe Harris would give him a spark.
Well, this is a big play in the game for Morgan State. Army's had it twice. They've scored touchdowns. 3rd and a yard for DeAndre Harris, the 6'3" freshman. Communication, they don't get it. Lamont Brown was in there, and they just couldn't click. Loss of 5.
That's why I just don't understand that change. They're in the pistol formation. You're third and less than a yard. You bring the freshman in, and there's miscommunication. I wonder if something may have happened to Andrews, or do you decide to go to the freshman there? And they're lucky they didn't fumble that ball.
Timp was right there in his face. And he almost took it right out of his hands. So there's Magoo. Clack 35 and 10. The distance is on his punts. And almost got that one. Better punt here. Took a good bounce. And a much better job by Chris Clack there with 4:43 remaining in the opening quarter. Army 13-0 lead. They'll get it for the third time. They're 2 for 2 scoring the football. We'll see what we can get from them when we come back. Inside of 5 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Army up 13-0. And on Thursday night, Jay, Colby Enegren there in the middle, the tallest of the bunch in there. Steven Johnson's next to him. Right there. Telestrator. That was your
video.
Well,
yours was much better than mine, but it was just such an honor to be there. Very so cool. When you think about military service, a lot of times I think in the country, people would think, man, I don't know if I'd want to be on the front lines, if I would want to go do it. And then we're standing there watching these young men and women find out where they're going to go serve our country, and they were so excited and elated, so much joy. It was just truly an honor. There's Enegren there, and it's really, I think people forget at times why these men and women are here at West Point. That's the reason. They're here to be officers, to lead our troops, whether it's in friendly times or in battle or in wartime, and a tip of the cap to all of them that were there on Thursday night. I mean, it was a powerful thing. I've never experienced anything like that. Being around all the firsties that got to open those envelopes, it was like winning an Emmy. It was like an award. It was awesome to see. Yeah, it really was. Very humbling to be there and to stand there, to be a part of it. So from the 45 on second down, after a 3-yard gain by Andy Davidson, Walker was the motion man. Bradshaw slipped a tackle. Flags come in. 2 flags came right around where the attempted tackle was made by George Ramos. Did he get the face mask maybe?
Personal foul, face mask, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, that's a tough penalty because they need a stop here. Army has gone down on the first 2 drives at will and run the ball for touchdowns. They have an opportunity to get Bradshaw in the backfield. He just gets his left hand up there early and gets a little piece of that face mask. Difficult penalty for Morgan State. Got to find a way to get a stop this triple option.
Army scored touchdowns on their first 2 possessions. Normally, we see Chris Carter in, but Ahmad Bradshaw's in, takes a shot for the senior. Poe tried to come up with it off his hand. And they had 2 down there to converge on him. It'll bring up 2nd and 10.
Edgar Poe, 10 career touchdowns. That's 7th all time at Army. Looking for his 11th there. Couldn't quite pull it in. A good throw by Bradshaw, though. Putting it where his receiver could catch it. Had a chance. Didn't throw it where it could be intercepted. He struggled with that this year. 8 interceptions.
Harley and Jones were back on the coverage for Morgan State. Poe's first touchdown. Reception came in 2013 here against Stanford. Movement left side of the line.
False start. Offense number 73. It's a 5-yard penalty. Second down.
It's on the freshman Jackson Deaton.
Deaton started against Notre Dame last week. That was his first start of his career. Got the start again this week. They moved Gilbert, who's normally their left guard all year, moved him to the right guard position.
Rick Kurz has been dinged up.
Hupp is out.
Yep. There's a toss to Kel Walker. A couple of touchdowns for him in recent games. Had a nice 32-yard run here against Air Force last time we were here a couple of weeks ago.
That play had potential. They had a good front. The line pulled. They were out in front. Kel Walker, who Brent Davis told us in our meetings yesterday is the fastest player on that offense, looked like it had potential. Morgan State did a good job rallying to the ball.
3rd and 9. I want to to put a stopwatch on Walker and Magoo. I want to see those two run.
I was going to circle him. Watch Poe at the bottom of your screen. It's 3rd and 9. There he is here.
Bradshaw looking to throw. Gonna swing it out. And could not get it into the hands of Davidson. Tough catch for Andy Davidson there. 4th and 9.
I love what Brent Davis did. You get Poe running out. Morgan State thinking just like me. Watch Poe, and they throw it. Look at all the space that Andy Davidson had. If Bradshaw could have thrown it where he could catch it and turn upfield, I think he would have had a first down.
There's Brent Davis.
He knows he had an opportunity, and that's been the problem with their offense.
Yeah.
They've had chances, opportunities to convert plays against Air Force. When we did the game, they had a halfback option that was wide open, didn't complete it, didn't score the touchdown, got no points.
William King is back deep to wait the punt of Jermaine Adams, who is their 3rd punter this season. And a flag comes in. Delay of game, it looks like.
Delay of game. Offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So the special teams issues continue.
That's okay, though. That's a penalty that you take a lot of times on purpose because you're giving your punter more room. If I'm the head coach on the other team, I decline that penalty. I don't want him to have more room. Make it tougher on that punter. Hopefully he hits it into the end zone and you get it at the 20.
So the ball at the 43-yard line. King back near his 10, awaiting. The lefty Adams. Fair catch. This is going to be a beautiful job by Army in the punt coverage unit. They down it around the 2-yard line.
Down to the 2.
Ryan England came in to save that ball. So great work out of him.
Excellent punt by Adams, and then a great job coming down. You're going to see Ryan England, their starting safety, get in there, make the play. The rule is where the ball is, not where the body or the foot is in college, different than the NFL. Excellent job by Army special teams.
And you mentioned Kel Walker's speed. It paid off there. He got down there to down it. Tuesday night at 11 Eastern. Join us in the studio as our panel of experts brings you up to speed on everything you need to know from the gridiron around the nation on Inside College Football, only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. I know we'll dive into some of the national items as we move on in the day, including college football playoff and the Heisman race. So here goes Morgan State trying to get out of the shadow of their own goalpost. They give it to Brown. Lamont Brown, the 3rd on the carry on 1st down, gets a couple.
As soon as I saw the ball spotted at the 2, my first thought was watch Andrew King on a run blitz. That's exactly what he did there. Almost got home trying to get the safety. Morgan State was able to get out, get a couple yards, get him a little bit more room. So I can see him taking a shot here to Mark.
Yeah, I was going to say that's Chris Andrews back in the game at quarterback. Gives it off again. Great job bursting through it was Ackerman. Alex Ackerman came through and made the stop. 3rd down upcoming. Let's get down to John. John.
Well, Coach Monken is not happy with his guys right now. This game has the potential to be a trap game for his team, so he just let into his offense right now. He said, guys, we are in a fist fight right now. Let's go. Let's pick up this energy. He wants to motivate them. Ben?
All right, John. Yeah.
Well, I think their offense played pretty well those first 2 series.
I do too.
They didn't convert when they had an opportunity on the pass to Davidson, but their defense has got a chance here.
0 of 3 on 3rd down from the end zone. Andrews flings it. Catch is made. It is Amonte Poteet. How about Andrews? Hang it in there until the last second and found him for the 1st down.
Valiant effort by Andrews. He knew he was going to get hit. You're going to see him step into this throw, understanding that Timp is going to come in there and level him. Nice throw, good completion. There's that strong arm. That's why I don't understand why they took him out and they brought the freshman Harris in on the last series.
I don't either. Poteet, they like his ability to run routes. He was wide open there. Andrews fakes the handoff. And Morgan State flexing their muscle a bit out to about the 19-yard line. Andrews on the keeper. It was Xavier Moss in there on the stop for Army. Gain of 6. Andrews directing traffic, fires, catch is made. It'll be a first down. It was Landon Malbrough, the senior, who moves the chains as second catch of the day.
Nice throw here by Andrews. Good spiral, good location. What a good start this is for this drive.
This is the first sideline warning for Army.
They started this drive at the 2-yard line.
Yep.
Almost got tackled for safety on the first play. Now they've converted 2 first downs, and really, this is a critical drive for them. Being down 13-0, the defense finally got them a stop.
9 seconds of the opening quarter. Army just passed the white line. That's the reason for the warning. The catch made on the near side here by Thomas Martin, who you touched on earlier, Jay, the senior. So another first down here for Morgan State. They'll move the chains. Gain of 11. So Army on top, 13-0. That's the end of the first quarter. Senior day here at Michie Stadium for Army in a game they're trying to win to get over 500 and get closer to bowl eligibility. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network. Tomorrow the NFL on CBS says let's play 2. First the Ravens and the Cowboys. And the Eagles go to work against the Seahawks. Check your local listings, beginning with JB, Tony Bart, Coach, and Boomer on the NFL Today, presented by Southwest Airlines. And Morgan State, they have 4 members in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. The first, Len Ford, then Roosevelt Brown, then Leroy Kelly, and the most famous of those, Willie Lanier. 63 to 66, was an 8-time All-Pro with the Kansas City Chiefs, inducted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in '86, and he also talked to the Morgan State team homecoming this year. He was up here when these two teams played in 2013 on a Friday night to open the season. So
I think it's always great when you honor the past greats in your history. I would not have known there was 4 Pro Football Hall of Famers.
No way, I would have never guessed that. Second quarter underway with Jay Feely, John Shriffen on the field, all of our great crew. My name is Ben Holden, and a sack, but a flag came in as Nautigal came in. Interesting, Bateman told us yesterday, the defensive coordinator, he had to run some plays just to get him in to remind himself.
He loves Nautigal.
Offense number 54. Penalty is declined. Second down.
Dominique Woods, the guilty party.
King and Timp have been so good that Nautigal really hasn't gotten on the field. So he said, I had to create certain plays, certain calls that specifically allow me to get him in the game. You can see right here, there's the hold. Just grabbing and pulling. Anytime you get outside the frame of the body, they're going to call that, especially when you twist him.
Nautigal, 6 foot 205, sophomore, loss of 7. Morgan State looked good on this drive early. Lamont Brown, though, is buried there. It's going to be a 3rd and long.
I think the break for the quarter kind of hurt them. They were in the groove. They were comfortable. They had gotten a couple of first downs, and then it's almost like Army got a little timeout. They get the break in the quarter, go back, regroup, come out. Jay Bateman calls an aggressive play. Morgan State was running a double move on that play that Nautigal got the sack.
Armed Forces football today, proudly supported by Golden Corral. 3rd and 18. What's Jay Bateman going to dial up here?
5 wide.
The lefty Andrews got a ton of room, all kinds of room. Instead throws it, catch is made, and it's a first down. He found the man open. It was Thomas Martin again, and they move the sticks. Big play for the Bears.
There was a number of receivers open. Once Andrews got outside the pocket, watch Martin come all the way across your screen. Here he comes right here, coming across the screen. Nice catch by Martin. He had a receiver open deep. He would decide to go underneath to Martin, get the first down. Big conversion for Morgan State.
22-yard pickup. They're on Army's side of the field now. This is Brown, broke the first tackle, but you're not going to break many tackles when number 11 is around. Andrew King is, we've all been here a long time over the years. He is one of the finest young men I've ever met. here at West Point. He really is, Jay. Just a special, special breed.
Over 242 career tackles. Jeff Monken said when something needs to be said, he says it. And he said everyone on that team is scared of him.
Right. But the interesting thing that Bateman said, too, was he said everybody, if you ask 5 guys, they'd all say he's one of their best friends, or one of their friends. Great leader he is. Here's a pass, and it's deflected, and Moss was in the neighborhood. It was Landon Marlborough that had to go off his hands.
And Marlborough should have caught that. It was a good job by Andrews getting outside the pocket, buying a little time when he felt the pressure. And he's got his receiver. It's a decent pass. Marlborough just needs to come down with it. He didn't follow it and track it with his eyes.
He can get up in the air, too, as a high jump champion in high school, but hit you in the hands, you're supposed to catch it, right?
No question.
3rd and 11. This will be the 12th play of the drive. What do you look for?
Well, they've been going to Martin. They continue to go to him. Look for Martin again.
Andrews steps up, and they drop him at the 45-yard line. Haven't called his name a lot this year, but John Voigt, the big play to get the sack for Army.
Voigt's 3rd sack. You can see him right here in the middle of your screen coming through. Jay Bateman said, my answer is to hit him before he can throw the ball. Here comes Voigt. Nice little move. Gets to the quarterback, and Jay Bateman's defense gets a stop.
So after a drive that was well into double figures for Morgan State, they bring on Clack. And Clack had to get rid of that in a hurry. And Magoo fields the punt, and he lost the football. He lost the football. Morgan State indicating they've got it. We'll let them sort it out. The Bears saying they've got it. There's the indication. They say it's Morgan State ball. Do you think, should Magoo have not fielded that?
No, he did a great job fielding it.
Okay.
He just was trying to make moves, couple of spin moves you're going to see here. And then now the ball gets popped out. There's the left hand going in, knocking the ball out. The only way that Morgan State can stay in this game, and I said at the beginning, was fumbles, turnovers. And they get a big turnover, haven't been able to do anything offensively. Now, can they take advantage of this Army mistake?
So Rico Kennedy got in there to knock it loose. Maurice Lewis Jr. on it.
That's the 25th fumble by Army this year. Watch him take a shot here.
This is Harrell. Slips through there. He got past Riley, and he was finished off there by Ryan England. So now Jay Bateman's defense tested as Morgan State gets 6 on 1st down. They're inside of the red zone.
Have to get in the end zone here. They've struggled kicking the ball. Alex Rea, their field goal kicker, he's 5 of 14. They expect him to go for it on 4th down if they can't convert.
Early stages of quarter 2. 13-0 Army. Andrews takes a look into the end zone. Well out of bounds.
They're looking for Marlborough.
Yep.
And I asked Fred Ferrier, are you going to throw a couple of jump balls to Marlborough in the red zone? He said, well, we haven't done it. I said, well, he's a high jumper. He said, we might do it today. They tried there, overthrew him.
There is the kicker, Rea. Morgan State, 2 of 6 on 3rd down. They need the 9 to convert. Keep the drive alive. Andrews under pressure, got out of there, got free again. He's got the 1st down. He took a shot as Jalen McClinton made the stop and gets up slow, readjusting his pads there. It's a 1st and goal now for Morgan State. Gain of 6 on the run.
Andrews had rushed for 190 yards coming into this game. Only 3 yards a carry. Nice physical run, putting his head down, sacrificing his body for his team to get that 1st down.
First and goal. Chris Andrews out of Queens, New York, St. Joseph's Regional High School. Draw, and he pays the price. There's Tim, who got right in his kitchen there and dropped him.
Tim was unblocked, didn't fall for the play fake. Got the ball, looked like they were going to throw it, and then Tim doesn't fall for it, gets past the blocker, makes a nice stick in the backfield.
2nd and goal upcoming. Morgan State, 14-play drive. They punted. Magoo fumbled. Had it stripped by Rico Kennedy. They get a chance to redeem themselves for the drive that was stalled. Andrews fires, and they look for Malbrough again. It was McClinton on the coverage, a hot shot, incomplete, third down coming up.
Good coverage defensively by Army. Nowhere really to go with that ball for Andrews.
Timeout. Morgan State. This is their first choice. Timeout.
So Malik Magoo there, hoping the defense can either A, force a turnover, or B, hold them to 3. Timeout Morgan State, 9:42 to play. We'll come back with 3rd and goal right after this. .9:42 to play in the first half. Army up 13-0, but Morgan State has a 3rd and goal upcoming. As Fred Ferrier there, their head coach and offensive coordinator, Jeff Monken, knows how big this game is for this season and moving forward as well. More importantly, it's all about right now for his team, a chance to get to 6 wins and take another step in getting closer to bowl eligibility. Time of possession in the second quarter. Morgan State 5:18, a goose egg for Army.
Yeah, they started this drive at the 2-yard line in the first quarter. They got the ball when they punted it. Magoo fumbled.
Yep. Here we go on 3rd and goal. Harrell's the back next to Andrews. He's going to throw it, and he missed the target. It was Thomas Martin. He had him, and he just overthrew him. So, Jay, we know the kicking issues for both teams. What are they going to do?
Well, it looks like they're going to kick. Alex Rea 5 for 14 on the year. It's 3 of 11, over 30. They've had issues with block kicks. You know, they had another kicker who was in camp. He was an all-conference kicker. It was going to be a graduate comeback. Fred Ferrier told me he thought he was coming back. He left in August. It's been all Alex Rea. Important to get points here.
24-yard attempt for the sophomore out of Beaumont, California. Clacks the holder, and Rea comes through and knocks it right down the middle. So Morgan State 13-3 now. They get on the board after the 24-yarder by Rea. We'll be back to Mikey right after this.
You can do better with great rates and a superior member experience.
So a part-time petting zoo here at Mikey Stadium. The Mules, the Army Mules on the field, and the youngsters enjoying that. And a beautiful West Point Saturday. Time for this week's Where They Now, brought to you by Bass Pro Shops. Colonel Rob Dickerson was a tight end here from 83 to 86. 4-year starter. Won 2 bowl games, the Cherry and Peach Bowls, and 2 CICs. Was West Point's deputy military AD. Named that on July 2015. Has a lot of responsibility here, and he's down on the field. We'll get down to John with him momentarily. And Army and Michigan State. I was at this game. 13 years old. They beat Michigan State in the Cherry Bowl in the Silverdome. Then they beat Illinois 31-29. Dickerson was in both those games for the Black Knights. And we'll get down to John Schriffen, who's going to talk to him after the kickoff here from Rea. Morgan State on the board. 24-yard field goal by Rea. Out of the end zone it goes. Army from the 25 when they get the ball. Down to John, as we mentioned, on the field. John.
Ben, thank you so much. I am here with Colonel Rob Dickerson. Now, we just talked about your playing accomplishments. You played in 2 bowls when you were a player. What was your favorite memory of your time here playing in Army?
Well, I tell you, as you mentioned with the bowls, we'd never played in a bowl before, and when we played in the Cherry Bowl back in 1984, going up against a great team like Michigan State, you know, there was nothing like it. Not only was it a great thrill for the players, but I think for the academy and just, you know, Army football in general. So great time, and then beating another Big Ten team in Illinois in the Peach Bowl just lifted us, you know, another step higher.
Now, very accomplished military career as well. Fill people in. What are you up to now?
Well, right now I like to say I have the best job in the Army as a colonel. I'm the deputy military athletic director, so I kind of oversee the military operations for our cadet athletes, making sure they take care of their summer training and their physical fitness requirements. But you know, I like to say it's management, leadership, and sports all wrapped into one. And that's all my wheelhouse, and I couldn't ask for a better job.
Last one from me. What is your current assessment of this year's Army team?
Oh, I'll tell you, the thing to remember about Army football right now is, Coach Monken has definitely what they call, a brotherhood. I mean, he has instilled that in the players, but the thing to remember is that, we have a nucleus of freshmen and sophomores, what we call the super sophomores. This is a young team, and we've come a long way in just 2 years under Coach Monken. And, Tim and King have done a phenomenal job as leaders, but I'll tell you right now, the best of Army football is to come.
Colonel Dickinson, thank you so much for everything you do.
All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Ben?
Thanks, John. So 2 runs there by Andy Davidson, a gain of 5, a gain of 3, and then Bradshaw stopped on 3rd down by William White. So Morgan State.
Sophomore linebacker from Detroit came in there. Big stick for Morgan State. Got to stop, get the ball back for their offense, down 10.
So first punt was 41 for Jermaine Adams.
This one's not even going to be close to that.
No, it's not. It takes an awful bounce for Army. So Morgan State will benefit from that. Another 3 or 4 yards they get in the right direction as we're close to the midway point here in the second quarter.
Well, we've seen a 10-yard punt and now a 9-yard punt, one for each team. Special teams struggling. Morgan State gets a stop. They get the ball back when we come back.
(13-3), Army on top. Morgan State's got the ball back in prime field position. Down by 10 with 7:38 to play in the first half. Coming up on the halftime report from New York, Adam Zucker, Rick Neuheisel, and Brian Jones have a preview of today's big games around the country and first half analysis of this one and a lot of other games. And time now to take a look at the college football playoff rankings powered by Ram Trucks. Jay, where you headed? Right there, look at that, in East Lansing.
Sparty, 10-10, I'm sure they'll be talking about that game. Big national championship implications there. If you can get into the Final Four, Ohio State, they play Michigan next week. You and I will be there watching that game. Obviously, Louisville lost, so they're out. That helps. Washington, Oklahoma, who's got a big game against West Virginia today, a 1-loss West Virginia team. Just chaos. Heisman race up in the air, the Final Four up in the air. Who knows?
So Urban Meyer has lost 3 games as Ohio State's head coach, 2 to Michigan State. He's 2-2 against them. Huge game, big one here for Army as Morgan State has come alive. Andrews down to the 30, gain of 11. Timpf on the tackle, and Morgan State, the last 2 possessions, Jay, have looked like they've settled in pretty well. Today's 1st and 10 line being brought to you by Golden Corral.
Remember, Jay Bateman's defense got a stop, forced a punt. Magoo fumbled it.
Yep.
They turned that into 3 points. Then a 10-yard punt for Army started this drive. Good field position.
And who says special teams aren't important? Very important part of this game. Brown took the handoff. He wrestled his way down for a couple on the pickup. The senior, Jeremy Timpf.
That's his 8th tackle of the game already.
Wow. 15 against Duke. He's had 3 games of 10 or more this season, has Timpf. He didn't even play as a freshman, literally did not play.
Did not play. Jay Bateman came in. They didn't really use the linebackers in their old defense.
Yeah.
Didn't know what he had in King and Timpf.
2 of the best ever played. Blitz coming, they got him. They come with a blitz, and it was
Timpf again,
It was
course.
the captain, Timpf. Yep. Big play there as Bateman dialed it up.
That's what his answer was. Bring pressure. Don't let him throw the ball. Timpf, who's closing in on 300 tackles for his career, climbing up the all-time charts.
So 3rd and 8 upcoming for Jay Bateman and his defense. Looks calm and cool there. Morgan State's 3 of 8 on 3rd down.
They are outside of field goal range here. So
yes.
You got 2 downs to get a 1st down.
Crowd alive at Mikey. Andrews dumps it off. Brown the catch, stumbled. And Army's going to do the job. They get about a yard on it. Brown with the catch there. So what does Ferrier do as Ackerman made the stop? You said they're not. Are they in range now or not?
No, they're still out of range. I expect him to go for it here. Fred Ferrier, I asked him before the game, I said, how confident are you on your kicker? Obviously, he struggled. 5 for 14, now 6 for 15. He said when he hits the ball, he hits it well, you know, but he struggled hitting the ball. I'll be aggressive going for it. He's going to go for it here.
6 of 8 on 4th down conversions are the Bears of Morgan State.
We got Malbrough in the slot.
They need to get to the 20. Andrews flinging it to the end zone. Incomplete, no flag. Riley on the coverage. They look for Martin.
And Martin singled up, went up top to him, gave him a shot. He wasn't able to get up and catch the ball. Army gets a big stop on 4th down, leading 13-3.
5:34 to play in this first half. Army on top by 10. Army was great out of the gate, like they were shot out of a cannon. Davidson a run, and then Bradshaw touchdown runs.
After the slow start against Notre Dame, getting down 21-0, important to come out here and get off to a good start. They did with Davidson, and then Woolfolk with the big run. Capped it off with Bob Bradshaw getting into the end zone here, basically untouched. But since then, Morgan State has kind of held them in check. They got in a field goal. 5:34 left, Ben, and 3 timeouts here for Army. Plenty of time. They want to possess this ball, get first downs, try and get some points here before halftime.
9 drives a week ago, just 1 touchdown that was taken in by Walker, but that was against the Notre Dame team in San Antonio. Different day here so far. Bradshaw tripped up. Got to the 35-yard line.
Those are the kind of games, and I even said this to Jeff Monken at practice, you take the tape, you just throw it away, you don't even look at it. Listen, we're overmatched. They're better than us physically and skill-wise at every position. We didn't play well. It was tough to play them after they played Navy the week before. They struggled against the triple option. They made adjustments against Army.
And Army coming off an emotional game, a loss against Air Force. Not a good recipe. First down run, the carry by Woolfolk. That'll move the chains out to the 38-yard line, inside of 5 to play in this first half. Today's 1st and 10 line brought to you by Golden Corral. Davidson comes back in. He'll be the be-back, the fullback in Brent Davis's offense.
Woolfolk was a little slow coming off the sideline. They're looking at him right now.
Woolfolk 4 for 56 on the ground. Bradshaw the pitch. Davidson's got it. And they get him to the
Davidson
45,
on the carry.
about a 7-yard
Tackled
gain.
by White.
William White on the tackle.
That's only the 3rd time, Ben, I've seen this all year, where they have Davidson outside as the pitch man. Is usually inside as the fullback, the triple option. They go first to him, and then they go outside to the pitch.
Army with 135 yards on the ground. Trying to finish the season #1 in the nation in that department, something they did back-to-back years, back in 11 and
Gibson's in
12. Davidson on the carry.
3rd and short now. That puts the fullbacks already over 100 yards rushing for Army between Davidson and Woolfolk. Army has gone for it often this year on 4th down. They've been successful over 50% of the time.
And bunch it in, and Davidson got behind Bradshaw and just shoved him to the 50-yard line, the old Reggie Bush move.
So they didn't have to make a decision if they were going to go for it on 4th down. They get it on 3rd and short.
Yep. So
Brought to you by
ball at
Emcor.
the midfield line.
Clock is running. Coming up on 3 minutes. They still have 3 timeouts, so no rush, no hurry here.
Bradshaw talking things over with Tyler Campbell. Davidson 8 carries for 48 and a touchdown for Monken's guys.
10 seconds on the play clock now.
Now down to 5, but Bradshaw gets it away. Here's the pitch. They get it into the hands of Asbury. Asbury's got a block from Poe. Jordan Asbury comes back inside. Asbury switching. They say touchdown. Jordan Asbury, a 50-yard run. And there you see the sign. They're going to go for 2 with 2:45 to go in the half. Did Army ever need that to get the momentum back? So Ahmad Bradshaw looking to the sideline. John Triffin mentioned at the outset of the broadcast, as we learned yesterday.
Remember on the last extra point, they snapped it over the holder of Ahmad Bradshaw's head.
Right, that they may do this more than they kick the PATs. Here's Bradshaw. He is going to stretch. White got him, but Ahmad Bradshaw kept those legs, and he leaned forward, and he takes it in for the 2-point conversion, and it's 21-3 Army.
William White hit him about at the 2-yard line, but Bradshaw, physical in his running ability, ran through the tackle. Here's the touchdown. Watch Tyler Campbell out here get a cut block, number 22, right there in the middle of your screen. Great block for Campbell, and then Poe downfield. If you want big running plays downfield, you need great blocking from your receivers. Edgar Poe gives it to him. Here's Poe. You have to have good blocking from your receivers. Watch him stay engaged, not hold. Keep good position. Just run his man out of the screen, and that allows Asbury to get into the end zone.
Terry Harris tried to get him there. There's Ahmad Bradshaw smiling, as he almost always is, and the 2-point play, Jay.
Well, watch number 40, White, hit him at the 2-yard line, and Bradshaw physical enough to be able to run through that tackle and get into the end zone to put Army up 21-3.
Jeff Monken's guys needed that with 2:45 to play. There goes Woolfolk. They're walking him in early. King back to await the kick. Career-long 50-yard touchdown run for Jordan Asbury, the sophomore out of Cincinnati. Wilson, his toe meets leather from the 5. It's King. And a good job by him to get it up to the 25, down to John Triffin for an update on Darnell Woolfolk.
Well, when he came off the field, he was breathing very heavy, and it took him a long time to really slow his breathing down. They were examining his lower back, and they couldn't really figure out what exactly the problem was. That's why they're bringing him into the locker room for further examination. Now, another injury update. Ahmad Bradshaw is now over on the training table right now. He got some turf beads in his left eye. They're clearing that out. Looks like he should be able to go and come back in the next series. Guys.
All right, John. Those rubber pellets lodged in there. Bradshaw looks like he's fine. He's always smiling.
Woolfolk missed 2 days of practice last week before the Notre Dame game.
So here goes Morgan State back to work, down by 18. Andrews, it's like he lost the edge there and got to the 24. To the 29, I beg your pardon.
Ben, 2:25 left, 2 timeouts for Morgan State. College, the clock stops while you move the chains if you get a first down, so plenty of time.
Gain of 4. Army trying to get to him again, and they do! They drop him.
I think I'd call a timeout if I were Jeff Monken.
Gibson gets in there, Ackerman helping out. So good work by those guys coming off the end. Smith in there as well.
Timeout. Army, it's their first choice timeout. This is a 30-second timeout.
All right, so they'll talk it over with 2:02 to go.
You get the stop, you get the sack, you come with the blitz from Jay Bateman, and then Jeff Monken does a good job quickly calling a timeout, knowing that with 2:02 left and a struggling punting game, there was a 10-yard punt earlier from Morgan State, that they may get the ball with good field position and opportunity to score again.
Well, we got a chance. Time for our View the Core. It's brought to you by M-Core. The long gray line. And the Grays today here on a beautiful West Point Saturday. Army 5-5, trying to get to 6 wins. An FCS team they're playing, but this game will count in terms of their bowl eligibility after they petitioned the NCAA. It's a big game for their team. 3 sacks. Tink's been involved in a couple. 3rd and 12.
And they've taken shots. They've gone to Martin. He's in the slot.
Andrews down the middle. He well overthrows Martin. And Army's defense, Jay, does the job. So you got 1:56 and 2 timeouts, and you should get the ball with pretty good field position.
And you didn't, because it was incomplete, you didn't have to use a timeout there. They've almost blocked, Army has almost blocked a couple of punts. Clack shanked one 10 yards out of bounds.
If you're the special teams coach, would you try to block it here?
I'd come after with pressure. Yeah, be aggressive. If nothing else, because of the pressure, it impacts the punter's ability to punt the ball. Remember, Magoo fumbled the last punt that he tried to return.
27.8 the average for Clack. And this one not very good. And it bounces out. It landed and took a hard left. And out of bounds around the 48. So you got 1:49. 2 timeouts for Ahmad Bradshaw after a 26-yard punt. Trying to increase an 18-point lead, Jay.
Alex Rea had punted for them throughout the year. He was averaging 33 yards a punt, but Fred Ferrier told me they decided to go to Clack to try and allow Rea to just focus on kicking. Clack has struggled today. It's not what he does. He's not a punter.
Right. So we'll see what Jeff Monken and Brent Davis, the Army offensive coordinator, can do on a beautiful West Point Saturday here late this second quarter. Davidson, the lone back. He gets it. And he gets
Davidson on the carry.
a couple, maybe 3. White and Jordan Cry, a couple of Michigan guys in there on the tackle.
Coming up on 1:30 left. Clock is running. You got 2 timeouts. To kick a field goal, you really need to get down to about the 25-yard line.
And a 2. Pose way out up top of your screen. Bradshaw. It's a block. Bradshaw finds Poe. Poe broke a tackle. First down to the 31 of Morgan State.
You called it, Ben. You pointed out Poe was at the top of the screen, and when they take a shot, that's who they like to go to. That's his 13th catch on the year. He was injured, missed a few games. He's got 40 catches in his career at Army.
16-yard pickup. Well-offered play there to Edgar Allan Poe, I suppose. Incomplete here. It's at the feet of Jordan Asbury.
Edgar Poe was wide open. Nobody covered him. They went to Asbury.
He was an open book.
Watch Poe go down. They're going to run a little out route, but Poe comes down the field and everybody leaves him.
Bradshaw, 2 of 6 for 26 through the air. 56 seconds to go in the half. Army with 2 timeouts. The block from Toth. Bradshaw the run, fires, catch is made inside of the 20. No, it's not. It was a Jeckham trying to get down and pull that one off of the turf, and he could not, says the referee. Flag down 2. I don't know about that.
That was very close.
Yeah, this might get looked at.
They're going to look at
65 offense.
Yeah.
10-yard penalty. Replay the down.
Bryce Holland holding the center, so it won't matter. But I think
makes that point moot.
Yeah, it does.
Now it backs you up, though. You're well out of field goal range. Blake Wilson, their kicker, his long is 43 yards. That was at Buffalo at the beginning of the season.
That is Moat. Looks like kicking into the net down there. Bradshaw, they bring in the heat. Bradshaw better get rid of it. Flings it, dangerous play. Intercepted! Intercepted by Morgan State. Flag down. And Bradshaw just heaved it up there.
I think they're going to call pass interference.
Okay.
It was a terrible decision by Bradshaw to throw that ball.
Darius Johnson with a pick, if it stands. You think it's PI on
Morgan State?
Morgan State.
Pass interference. It's defense number 29. Spotted foul. First down.
Bradshaw rolled to his right, threw that ball all the way back across the field. You can see the early pass interference was actually before that.
Rashawn Lushane is the guilty one, number 29, they said.
Ball just held up there so long that he got caught up with the receiver.
So Army will take another shot into the end zone. Poe the goal line. Edgar Poe, they say touchdown. Edgar Poe, 31 yards. Dare we say poetic.
This is the kind of play they normally throw. Throw it up, let your receiver go up and catch the ball. Definitely a clean catch. Did he step out of bounds at all?
The ruling on the field is a completed pass for a touchdown.
Tough to tell there.
Previous play is under review.
You're looking at the left foot. Here you go. You're looking at the left foot. He goes up, makes the catch. Right foot is inbounds. Now, does his left foot step out of bounds? No.
Hard to tell in the shadow, but you can see with that.
He got the right foot into the end zone, though. That's a touchdown and a great play by Edgar Poe. The kind of play that we've seen them do when they're singled up. They're going to go up in the air and take a shot. Poe plays the ball well up in the air. Throw it out. Let your 6'4", 216-pound receiver go up. That's his, if it stands, which we think it will, that's his 11th career touchdown. Came into the game with 10. That was 7th all-time in Army history.
Ron Cherry, the referee, on the headset with Jack McElwee. He's the replay official up top. Interference earlier on the drive that kept it alive.
There's the interference early right there. They had an interception, was taken away by the pass interference. Army takes advantage, goes up top to find Poe.
So for Morgan State there, Rashawn Lucane there. Guilty of that play that you were referring to, Jay. And
he's a freshman. Those are the kind of plays that freshmen make. The ball's up in the air. You kind of panic. You hit the receiver.
Back to Poe, and touchdown or no, it's a touchdown they said on the field.
Right foot's down, left foot's inbounds. And there he goes. The right foot is inside the end zone for the touchdown.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jay. I think that's going to count. Referee Ron Cherry still on the headset with Jack McElwee up top here on Press Row, the replay official here today at Mikey.
You teach your receivers to high point the ball.
Yeah.
So go up, don't allow it to come down when the defender can get a play on it. You're 6'4", go up high. That's what Edgar Poe does so well. Goes up, high points it, makes the catch, and then an excellent job to keep his feet and try and get in that end zone.
So Ferrier on the left. Monken on the right.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
So it is a touchdown for Edgar Allan Poe, his 11th career touchdown. It stands, and they trot on. They're going to go for 2 here again.
Not surprising. Came into the game. John Schriffen reported at the beginning of the game that they'd be more aggressive. And then they snap it over the head. Jeff Monken says, I've seen enough of that.
Davidson, the B-back. Davidson gets it, walks in! Andy Davidson, a touchdown to open the game, a 2-point run here late in the second quarter, and Army's up by 26 points, 29-3.
That was just too easy for Davidson walking into the end zone. This game was 13-3, and it was close. Asbury ripped off a big run for a touchdown. They find Poe in the end zone for a touchdown, and Army's up 29-3.
Army pride on display. Last home game this season for the Black Knights. They'll play Navy to close out the season in early December. This is the last time these players this season and for the 17 seniors will play here at Mikey Stadium.
We asked Fred Ferrier, Morgan State's head coach and offensive coordinator, what's the key to this game? He said, eliminate mistakes at critical junctures. You know, you got an opportunity to get the ball back. You can get an interception. You get a pass interference penalty, gives Army the ball back. They hit you for a touchdown. That's what's plagued Morgan State throughout the year. They've had a number of close losses, especially the last 5 weeks.
Ferrier, their interim head coach. Lee Hall was their head coach, took a job with the Colts. It was a surprise to Ferrier. He's still their interim coach. They haven't made a decision to do that after the season. Short kick taken at the 26, but fair catch called. It was Gerard Reed that was underneath it there for Morgan State. So you got 22 seconds left as Poe. And with the receivers group, his brother there on the right, check him on the left.
Please set the game clock to 23 seconds. 23 seconds. Thank you.
Back at this kick. That was Gillis, their tight end, who waved the fair catch there. It wasn't the young man who received the ball there. Nevertheless, they've got it at the 26. It was Gerard Reed that caught it. Replay on. There they go on the ground. Harrell out to the, at the 20, just over the 20 or the 33-yard line. So in the dying seconds here of the first half.
2 timeouts for Morgan State, but they're not taking them.
Nope. So Jeff Monken and his guys will take a 29-3 lead into the locker room. And they'll receive the second half kickoff. Will the Black Knights. So a team that came in need of a big win here today. One they've got to have if they want to get closer to bowl eligibility. Right now they're in control. John Trippins with their head coach down in the field. John.
Well, Ben, thank you so much. Coach, normally we're not used to seeing you guys throw the ball this much. What are you seeing from Morgan State that really made you want to attack them in the air?
We're not being able to run the fullback, basically. I mean, we ought to be able to hand the ball to the fullback and block them and get to the secondary. And, I mean, we're getting tackled by defensive linemen and linebackers, and frankly, I'm a little frustrated.
I know this game was close at one point. It was getting a little sloppy, but then you guys now opened up this lead. What's your message to the team at the half?
It's sloppy. It is. It's been sloppy since the get-go, and it's disappointing. We punt the ball down to the 1-yard line. Having to punt right there is frustrating enough, but then they get 4 first downs. Punt the ball to us. We fumble the punt. They get another first down. Just really sloppy play, and we got to be more intense and more exact with our techniques and fundamentals, and we'll play better.
Good luck in the second half.
Thanks.
So Jeff Monken there down on the field. His thoughts, not happy with his team, telling our John Trippin. Part of the pageantry of the history here at Mikey Stadium, West Point. Army pride on display. They're on top 29-3 at the half. That's the end of the first half. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
You are watching the CBS Sports Network Halftime Report, powered by Ram Trucks.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Ram Halftime Report. I'm Adam Zucker alongside Rick Neuheisel and Brian Jones with the score at West Point. Army on top of Morgan State, 29-3. Time to get you caught up on other action now with our highlight blitz. And look out, number 2 Ohio State playing in the weather against Michigan State, PJ.
Yeah, don't you dare think about Big Blue next week, Ohio State, because L.J. Scott, you got something to say about that. 64-yard screen pass here. 62 points back-to-back weeks scored by Ohio State's offense. They better get to it. Only 10 thus far.
Tied at 10 at the half. Weather just like their loss to Penn State as well. 28 players from the state of Ohio on Michigan State's roster, looking to spoil them like they did last year. Rick, Wisconsin trying to stay in control of the West. They're at Purdue.
Yes, they are. And David Blau says, what? No, it's T.J. Watt that picks me off, runs it into the house, looking like his big brother. Wisconsin taking care of business right now.
As they've done
West
so.
Lafayette.
Their last 10 meetings against Purdue, 35-10. Bart Houston came in for Alex Hornibrook, 5 of 6 with a touchdown already. All right, Nebraska needs Wisconsin to lose somehow this year, and without Tommy Armstrong, keep winning.
Yeah, Nebraska's still in the hunt, really. In the West, they are. And Newby here, Pearl Newby, 2 touchdowns on the day. Nebraska, they're clicking.
Clicking. Tommy Armstrong's clapping. Nebraska on top 21-0 right now. Now, Big 12, Oklahoma State still in control of their destiny, going to TCU here, Rick.
They've played a bunch of close games lately here. Mason Rudolph gets a touchdown pass to Chris Lacey, 3-yard score, putting them on front, a goal line stand right before the half. They got a 10-6 halftime lead.
2 great running backs in this one with Justice Hill and Kyle Hicks. The Cowboys on a 6-game winning streak coming into this one. Now in the SEC, Florida trying to clinch the East Division with a win. They get in a little scrape with Leonard Fournette and company before Fournette even pushing another coach. Now, he wasn't supposed to play, we hear, and then he tells Ed Orgeron he wants in.
Yeah, but he doesn't get in. Well, actually, one play he got in, then it was Darius Geis picking up where he left off last week versus Arkansas, scoring touchdowns.
And, yeah, 7-0 the score right now. Tennessee looking to take advantage of that, perhaps. We will preview the marquee games coming up later today in our Saturday Spotlight when the Ram Halftime Report continues. Welcome back to the Ram Halftime Report. A reminder, coming up next on CBS Sports Network, it's San Diego State and Wyoming, followed by USF and SMU. And tonight at 10:30 Eastern, Air Force visits San Jose State. And now it's time to turn our Saturday spotlight on some of today's big matchups, starting with that possible preview of the Mountain West Championship game coming up on CBS Sports Network next. The 9-1 Aztecs have already locked up the West and still have a shot at a New Year's Day bowl. Meanwhile, the Cowboys were shocked by UNLV in triple OT 69-66 last week. Still control their own destiny in the Mountain Division. BJ, got to simmer down now.
Yeah, that's right, simmer down. We may see this movie again if Wyoming actually wins today, and I think they will win because they have a stellar running back in Brian Hill. He is third in the nation in rushing this season. Now, it's all about Donnell Pumphrey on the other side, fourth all-time running the rock. I think the Cowboys win. They're going to lasso Donnell today.
Yeah, up at altitude. Rick likes the sea level guys.
Sensation at elevation.
Next, the game coming up at 3:30 Eastern on CBS. 19th-ranked Tennessee hosting Missouri, a must-win for the Vols, who still have a chance at claiming the East. Meanwhile, the Tigers, they won their first conference game of the season, snapping a 5-game skid last week, Rick.
A big one on Rocky Top as the Volunteers try to keep hope alive, Adam. They've got a chance to get to the SEC's crown if they can continue to hold court and have a little help from LSU. They're going to have to stop Demarie Crockett for Missouri. That guy went for 150 last week. And by the way, Tennessee gave up 400. Yeah, so they're going to have to do a better job defensively. But I'm on the Volunteers.
All right, Crockett, the new king of the Wild Frontier, as we move on to a clash in Morgantown. Number 9 Oklahoma, number 14 West Virginia. Despite a lower ranking, the Mountaineers may still be the Big 12's best chance to claim a spot in the playoff. One loss. Meanwhile, the Sooners have won all 4 meetings since West Virginia joined the conference, BJ.
You remember when the Sooners gave up 854 to Texas Tech? Remember that? 854 yards. Bomber Sooners. Since then, they've only allowed on average 321 yards. It's about the 3 Jordans, Parker, Thomas, and Evans on that defensive side of the ball. The Sooners win. Man, I hate to say that. Why are you?
Oh,
that's what the Sooners do, right?
Man, why are you doing
I apologize.
Oh, we need to move on.
You really want to finish this halftime, right?
All right, next, a potential preview of the Pac-12 championship game. 10th-ranked Colorado hosting number 22 Washington State. After the 0-2 start, the Cougars are riding an 8-game winning streak and remain undefeated in conference play. Meanwhile, the Buffs have won 6 of 7, and head coach Mike McIntyre has to be in the discussion for Coach of the Year now, Rick.
You're exactly right. Who would have thunk it that this game would be this big? Rocky Mountain High. I mean, this is big stuff right now in the Rocky Mountains. Folsom Field will be rocking, but Luke Falk has the recipe. That guy is really good. He'll play great. Washington State wins today.
Luke Falk to Gabe Marks. To the Big Ten, Indiana and number 3 Michigan at the Big House. The Wolverines still control their own playoff destiny despite last week's devastating loss to Iowa. Meanwhile, the Hoosiers, they have not won at Michigan since 1967. BJ, weather alert.
Yeah, weather alert. And who's going to play quarterback? Is it going to be John O'Corn? You know, they say Wilton Spate's hurt. They say he's week to week. They say he's questionable. Who cares? Michigan will win this ball game. You look at Indiana, they had a 10-point lead late in that ball game last week versus Penn State. That disappeared, and they may not even get a lead at all in this one. Michigan, they right the ship and win.
Divine Redding, gonna go after him. Moving on to the ACC, 4th-ranked Clemson visiting Wake Forest. Now, last week's shocking loss to Pitt makes tonight's game a must-win for the Tigers. Beat Wake, and Clemson claims the Atlantic. Lose, and the division goes to Louisville. They weren't expecting any good news, Rick.
Let me say this. Clemson needs to get themselves up, dust themselves off, and find a running game. And the ACC demands that they do it. I think they will. Deshaun Watson and company played terrific today, and they get Wake Forest.
All right, a reminder, the NFL on CBS kicks off tomorrow with doubleheader action. Most will see the Ravens and Cowboys, then the Eagles and Seahawks. It all gets started at noon Eastern with the NFL Today. Thank you for watching the Ram Halftime Report. Coming up, the second half of Morgan State and Army.
What does it mean? What does it mean?
This has been the CBS Sports Network Halftime Report, powered by Ram Trucks.
Beautiful West Point Saturday. We're at halftime. It's 29-3 Army. Black Knights are 5-5, trying to get over 500 and trying for a much-needed win if the Black Knights want to go to a bowl game later this season. Jay rejoins me after this for the second half. Inching closer to the start of the third quarter. Ahmad Bradshaw getting loose, his team on top 29-3 as we welcome you upstairs to our broadcast booth here at Mikey Stadium with Jay Feely, John Triffin on the field. My name is Ben Holden. A pleasure and an honor to be with you. And Jay, for Army, this is a game they have to win. 5-5, trying to get closer to bowl eligibility. What are your thoughts on the first half for them?
Well, it was close for a while, 13-3, and then Army scored 2 touchdowns. Jeff Monken told John Triffin he wasn't happy with his fullbacks, but Davidson's averaging 6 yards a carry. Woolfolk's averaging 14 yards a carry. That's not too bad.
High expectations, right?
Yes, exactly. He wants his team to come out fired up. He wants them to execute. He knows how important it is to get ready for Navy, that they have to execute here today.
All right, let's take a look back at some of the highlights, the moving pictures, the key ones in half one, Jay.
Well, they love seeing this. Andy Davidson getting back into form like he was earlier in the season. If they want to beat Navy, they need to have Andy Davidson healthy. Ahmad Bradshaw getting into the end zone and then doing it through the air. Going up top to Edgar Allan Poe. Poe making the great catch, staying in bounds, getting the touchdown, climbing the charts for Army all time. And this defense has played well today. Only gave up 100, just over 100 yards. Timp with 8 tackles. He's getting after it. Voigt with the sack.
So the highlights and the first half stats brought to us by Penn Fed Credit Union. The time of possession highlighted. Jay, anything else, though, that grabs your attention?
Well, I think right here, Jay Bateman's defense only giving up 100 yards, less than 3 yards per play. They gave up the field goal after Magoo turned the ball over on a punt return. They have not given up a sustained drive for points to Morgan State yet.
All right, those are our first half stats brought to us by Penn Fed Credit Union. Elijah St. Hilaire, number 30, back deep. Alex Rea, the sophomore, has it teed up, and third quarter underway as toe meets leather once again. St. Hilaire from the 1. And they try the reverse here. Trick play on the kick return, and Morgan State was ready. That was Christian Drake. And it was Trevon Henry that made the stop there. Down to John Schriffen, who had a chance to catch up with Fred Ferrier.
Well, thanks, Ben. I talked to Coach Ferrier, and he said, look, we are still in this game because defensively we've been in the right places. We've just been giving up the big plays. If we eliminate that, we'll be in a better position. Now, he said offensively, look, we've got to take more chances because we don't have anything else at this point. They're going to open up this offense, look for some deep shots down the field. They're really going to try and get back into this one with their offense, guys.
All right, John, we'll look for that. Ahmad Bradshaw, he's played every snap at quarterback. Chris Carter, who they were working in on the 3rd series, has not played yet. To the 17-yard line goes Andy Davidson. What'd you say those numbers were for Davidson and Woolfolk? Really good numbers.
Davidson's averaging 6 yards a carry. Woolfolk averaging 14 yards a carry. They got over 100 yards combined. Jeff Monken has high expectations for those fullbacks.
Yeah, no question. Ahmad Bradshaw, the junior out of Chicago. Well, the referee's over talking to Ferrier, the Morgan State head coach. Now the referee, Ron Cherry, makes his way back into position. 31 seconds gone in this 3rd quarter. Miami with 2 straight losses to Air Force, last week to Notre Dame. An awful lot to play for. Let's see what they do here as the second half will unfold. Davidson will bring up 3rd and short for Army. Greg Gibson, one of their leaders on defense. The linebacker made the tackle, number 41.
William White, number 40, was in there again. We've seen him a lot throughout this game, being active. Wasn't able to bring down Ahmad Bradshaw when he ran through him for the 2-point conversion.
So here they go on 3rd and short. And it's Davidson again, and Davidson's got the first down to the 27-yard line. Davidson, a linebacker a year ago. Moved into that fullback spot against Temple at over 120 yards to start the season. Jay, those numbers, you brought those to our attention yesterday for Davidson. The first 5 games were great. The last few he struggled.
He was a revelation those first 5 games. 534 yards, 7 touchdowns. Then the next 5, not including today, 173 yards, no touchdowns. You can see 55 yards and a touchdown. They desperately need him to get back into form if they want to be able to compete with Navy next week.
Here we go, the Black Knights. Bradshaw took a shot there and spun right off it to the 34. He takes it. He was hit by Rashawn Lusain, who was flagged for a 2nd quarter PI call.
That Navy game is December 10th. I said next week. It's a couple of weeks.
Yep. It's
that's their next game.
Yeah, 3 weeks out.
The big third down here for Morgan State. They want to get back into this game. Got to get a stop.
They show pressure with White. It's 3rd and 3. Army is 3 of 5 on third down thus far.
Poe is up top. Single coverage.
Woolfolk. They give it to him, and Darnell Woolfolk puts his shoulder into the defender, takes him to the ground. It was Darius Johnson, and Woolfolk continues to add to his robust average, a gain of 19.
Good blocking up front. Woolfolk quickly gets into the seam.
Timeout, Morgan State. The first charge timeout of the second half.
So Ferrier in the face there of one of his defensive linemen. And the Bears will talk it over. They take their first time out. 2 remaining for them early on in the third quarter. Woolfolk 5 for 75 after that 19-yard run.
That was George Ramos that Ferrier was giving an earful to. Not happy about that at all. This is what he was upset about. You can see all the guys they have on the field and not hustling off. 13 guys on the field there.
So 12:08 remaining in the third. Army's got the ball at the Morgan State 47-yard line. 13-0 lead for Army. They scored on their first 2 possessions of the game, made it look easy. Morgan State woke up, got a field goal. Bradshaw the fake, and he takes it down to the 41-yard line. Second and exactly what Army wants, about 4 or 5 on second down. And a 6 for Bradshaw. Asbury was in motion there, number 3, at a 50-yard touchdown run in the first half. Career long for him. Bradshaw gives it to him. Asbury with Campbell in front. Asbury trying to use that speed. He got the first down. He was dropped by Darius Johnson. They moved the chains, though.
Saw this play in practice. I liked it. When they take the snap, Bradshaw steps, faces to his left, and then quickly turns and pitches it the other way. When he goes left, he gets the whole defense sliding opposite of the way they're going to run it. Nice play design by Brent Davis.
Pickup of 8. Bradshaw looked at Asbury, faked it, kept it, got it down to the 30-yard line. Armed Forces football proudly supported today by USAA. Beautiful Saturday here. Not a cloud in the sky, temperatures around 60, and a good turnout for Army's final home game of the season. Woolfolk. Short gain there on second down. 3rd and short upcoming.
Now you got to get a stop. You're Morgan State. You're down 26. It's 3rd and 4. They don't have a good field goal kicker. They're outside of field goal range. You expect Army, if they don't get it, to go for it on 4th down. Got to get a stop right here. Got to stand up, make a play.
A-backs are Asbury, number 3 on the near side. Campbell, 22. And you got Woolfolk. And at the B-back, the fullback behind Bradshaw. They give it off. Woolfolk up the gut. Darnell Woolfolk. Touchdown, Army. He marches in for the Army touchdown, and they increase the lead. A 27-yard run for Darnell Woolfolk.
Jeff Monken was unhappy going into halftime with his fullbacks. He's going to be happy now with Woolfolk after that play. They went to the fullbacks throughout that drive.
Dominating effort by Davidson and Woolfolk. Good snap, good hold, and Wilson Puts through the point after 17 for 104 for Woolfolk, Jay, after a 27-yard run for him here.
Give it to your big fullback. Get a seam. Good blocking up front. Then Woolfolk does the rest. Getting into the end zone. Putting Army up 33.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by the U.S. Army. This team makes a real difference. Find out if you'd make the cut at goarmy.com/team. By Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. By Ram Trucks, America's longest lasting pickups. And by Navy Federal Credit Union, proudly serving the armed forces and their families for over 80 years. Federally insured by NCAAF.
You don't see those kind of images anywhere but here at Michie Stadium. Army touchdown run from Darnell Woolfolk. I need to correct myself. He has 7 carries for 104. I said 17 before the break. So he's averaging 14.9, and he's got his first career 100-yard game, Jay. And Army, they've been efficient very on offense today.
Back-to-back career games for Woolfolk. Had his best game last week against Notre Dame. He's topped it today. That's what you expect, though. You expect them to come out here and to be able to run the ball effectively against an FCS team.
95 last week against Notre Dame. 11 plays, 86 yards, took 501. Wilson sends it down. King tried to make the catch and could not. First and 10 upcoming from the 25-yard line. Now time for our Army Day in the Life of a Cadet. Take a look at Justin Gilbert.
Always so impressed with their schedule, what they have to do, and then coming out and playing Division I football. Air defense artillery, that's what Gilbert chose.
17 seniors, and what, only 3 were not infantry?
14 combat arms.
Yeah. It's impressive. That's all you need to know about these guys. They're willing to put their lives on the line for us as Americans. Here's Andrews, gives it off to Lamont Brown. 75-yard game here back in 2013. Aukerman the tackle. So Morgan State down 33 now.
They only had 36 rushing yards in the first half. I don't think you're going to get back in this game rushing the ball against this stout front of Army and the linebackers. You got to throw it, you got to take shots, you got to go up top.
I'm with you. So instead they run the ball again. What do we know? It'll be 3rd and 2 coming up.
And Andrew King makes the tackle again. King and Timpf, the 2 guys we talked about at the beginning, leading that defense ever since Jeff Monken and Jay Bateman took over.
Third and 2 upcoming for Morgan State. 30% for them. They're 3 of 10. That'd be good in baseball, but not in football.
Expect Jay Bateman to blitz here. Here it comes.
Anglin right there, got in his face and forced that throw. Maybe a little late there. They look for Malcolm Banks, the fullback. 4th down upcoming. Good call by you, Jay.
Malcolm Banks from Tampa, Florida. Talked to him before the game. Wasn't able to come down with this play. It was a pretty good throw. Andrews knew he read the blitz well. He made the right read, threw it to the right person. Banks just wasn't able to come down with it.
5 punts for Chris Clack. 27.4 per punt so far, including a 10-yarder earlier in the game.
Better effort here.
Yeah. And they dropped the ball. Magoo with his 2nd fumble of the day.
And they got it. Morgan State's got that ball again. 2nd fumble, 2nd time Morgan State has been able to recover. That's their best offensive play of the day, is the punt with Magoo fumbling it.
Ian McBurrow in there to recover it. Army with its 2nd turnover.
Just right through his hands. He was looking it in. He was in position. Didn't have his elbows in. You want your elbows in, not out. He had his elbows out and went right through the wickets.
So Morgan State down by 33. See if they take a shot and do something with it. Down the middle, they go to the tight end. It's knocked away. They looked for Gillis, and it was Gibby Gibson that was on the coverage there.
Correction, Gillis.
Pretty good defense, but he's got an opportunity to make that ball or catch that ball, and he didn't do it. It's a good throw by Andrews.
Gillis 6'2" and 275.
2nd and 10.
Andrews is 6 of 17 for 65, throwing it. Coaching never stops for Jeff Monken. Talking to Magoo, high throw, catch is made though. Good job to get up and get that ball by Waylon Harrison.
You talked about earlier that Jeff Monken's background is as a special teams coach. So important for him to get his special teams on the right page, and they're not doing it today going into that Navy game. They're going to need special teams, but this here is a big play for Morgan State, 3rd and short.
Eric Correll behind Andrews out of the gun. And he's not going anywhere. Waiting there was Jeremy Timpf. The senior on senior day was right in his face for Bateman's defense.
Timpf with his 9th tackle of the day. Jay Bateman told us, I can always count on him. I know he'll give me everything he has. He'll always be in the right place and do the right thing.
Let's go, be Morgan State. Here we go.
4th and 3.
Army's been really good against teams on 4th down.
Second time the Bears have gone for it. Andrews running for his life, and they got him! Andrew King! The product of Queens. And he has...
Ruling on the field is that the runner was down. 1st down.
Come up with Army's 21st sack of the season. And it's a turnover on downs. So we'll take a timeout. 6:57 to play in the 3rd quarter. As King and Voigt in there on the pressure. Army gets it when we come back right after this.
This is a great afternoon. The Black Knights of Army. Touchdown, Army. The midshipmen of the Naval Academy. Touchdown, Navy. It's America's game, Army versus Navy.
Only 21 days to go in the countdown to America's game. It's the Army-Navy game, as Vern Lundquist said there, presented by USAA on CBS Sports. And a guy that's with John Triffin knows a thing or two about that. Commanding General of the 7th Infantry Division with John.
That's right, I'm here with Major General Thomas James. Thank you so much for joining us. Describe, why is the 7th Infantry Division so integral to the U.S. Army?
Hey, John, we're a division of roughly 17,000 soldiers. We're the 11th Division in the Army. We're an infantry division. Obviously, we've actually served our nation for over 100 years. And it started back in World War I and all the way through. We just had a unit come out of Afghanistan in July. It was a very special organization.
So I understand you've been here to West Point a few times, but this is your first time experiencing a football game at Michie Stadium. Describe, what is this experience like?
It sure is. It's magical. It's great to be here with our military academy that represents our Army and to be a part of this. And to see what we're doing on the field is great. You know, they say in infantry, the last 100 yards in the objective area is where we concentrate and focus and do our work. But here it's the last 100 yards of the football field, and the West Point team is doing great today on those last 100 yards.
Well, it's good to have you here, and thank you for your service.
Great. And thanks to West Point for honoring our division on this special day. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Ben?
Thanks, John. I love seeing the generals, the humility from the men and women that come in here. It's really good to see. So Davidson on the run. So Malik Magoo, Jay, is in the game now, quarterback. As Bradshaw comes out. Played some last week against Notre Dame. He's a speedster. But he gives it off here, and they plow forward to about the 44, does Andy Davidson.
Not surprising to see Magoo. Kind of surprising it wasn't Chris Carter who came in, but Magoo has been the one who's made a difference when he's been on the field running the ball. He's actually thrown the ball well. You can see 4 for 5, 76 yards, had the interception. against Notre Dame. But I asked Jeff Monken if he was going to save some of his guys, keep them healthy, even though there's so much time between now and Navy. He said he would. They got to lead.
There's a toss to kill Walker. Walker, nice job by Walker to slip up the sideline. Didn't look like a lot there, and he's slow to get up as Jordan Cry, product of Southfield High School in suburban Detroit, made the stop after a gain of 17. Walker's still not up. Ian Magoo, the speedsters on this Army team, and they tend to him. 5:43 to play in the third. Army on top by 33. Will step aside. Good sign there as Kel Walker, under his own power, walked off. He was landed on by Chris Fatigoma here. You'll see at the end. Down on his head.
They're walking him in to the locker room right now to check on him.
Outstanding speed, product of Georgia. There's the ties that Monken and Brent Davis have down in that area. A lot of players coming out of the state of Georgia. They do anyways, but some good inroads there for Army in that department. 2 carries, 23 yards for Walker. Magoo keeps it. Had to slip free. Good job by Malik Magoo, who's not the biggest.
No, but he's quick.
He
and
is.
He's elusive. He has great speed. You think he's faster than Kel Walker?
I do. Do you? From what you've seen?
Brent Davis told us that Kel Walker was faster, so I trust Brent.
Well, of course.
Yes, I mean, I think on the field, the guy who has stood out speed-wise is Malik Magoo. Now, he has 2 fumbles today on punt returns.
Yeah. No, I trust him, too. I was just surprised. We've seen out of Magoo. Bringing a 7 on that run for him. Gave it off, and ahead goes Andy Davidson, the sophomore. Tackle made by Greg Gibson.
I'm kind of surprised Andy Davidson is still in there, to be honest with you. He's been banged up and hurt. They need him back healthy. You got Cole Masick, who had a big game against Lafayette. Noise.
His nickname.
Right, his nickname.
Yeah, I'm with you, though, in all seriousness. Maybe one more drive they're thinking and try to get those guys some reps. Here they go. Not very far, though, and Morgan State, good job to get in there. Antoine McCray led the charge for the Bear defensive front. He's a big young lad at 6'2" and 340. Second and 12 upcoming. Davidson's the fullback.
He's got 73 yards. Wofolk over 100.
The pitch knocked away. That's a live ball, and Magoo falls on it back at the 30-yard line. Walker and Drake have checked in, and here's the play. Jay, loss of 13.
Good penetration. Getting a hand out, knocking the pitch down, packing him way up. McBurrow with the penetration there from Oregon State.
He's trying to pitch the ball there to Joe Walker.
If you're Army, you just try to get half of it, and then I would go and bring your kicker in. Try and get him some confidence. Get him made field goal here.
Ball at the 30. On 3rd and 25. Magoo, pressure coming. He got away from it. It was Rico Kennedy that had him, and now he just throws it away. There's the elusiveness right there you mentioned.
Good job getting away from pressure, getting rid of the ball. Now you got 4th down from the 30-yard line. I think that's too far for Blake Wilson, your field goal kicker.
As he trots out.
It's interesting. I watched him try from about that distance. He pulled it left in warm-ups. That was the longest kick that he attempted.
Missed from 33 last week against Notre Dame. This from 47.
Not exactly the kick you want to get your kicker some confidence going into Navy.
Well, what if he makes it, though?
Well, then that's excellent. Yeah, right. Jeff Monken calls timeout.
Yeah.
Timeout. Army. It's a 30-second timeout.
3:02 to play in the third. Wilson and Jr. out of Boca Raton.
Wilson took over in the Buffalo game when Mitchell Howard got hurt at the beginning of the game. Mitchell Howard was 2 for 4. He had a 47-yarder against Temple, looked pretty good. In that Buffalo game, he missed a couple of kicks, one at the end of the game that would have won the game for Army. Blake Wilson did. That just sums up special teams this year for Army. 2 missed field goals in that Buffalo game. They snap over the punter's head against North Texas, give up the kickoff return to Notre Dame, and 2 fumbles today on punt return.
And that's one that Monken talked with us yesterday. He said that one, that North Texas game, just games that can't do anything about it now.
I'd like to see Bradshaw kind of pumping Wilson up there. Took him aside, talked to him.
So from the right hash, from 47.
Really no wind to speak of.
Career long 39. Wilson on the way, and he got it! Blake Wilson! Look at the field goal unit. Right to him, Jay.
Huge kick for Blake Wilson. And Army, regardless of the score, the fact that he made that kick, that they've struggled so much kicking the ball, that we talked to Jeff Monken about the fact that he needed his kicker to get confidence going into the Navy game. Drilling a kick like that from 47 yards will give you all the confidence you need.
Time now to check our Chick-fil-A fan cam to see how the fans are reacting here today at Michie Stadium in West Point. Youngsters here, it's 28,290 the announced attendance today. It's like an early September type day here. 60 degrees, no clouds anywhere in sight. Army in control, 39-3 with 2:57 to play in the 3rd quarter against Morgan State. Just 1 game left for Army. Things go right, they win this game, and
the game left for Army.
Yeah, it is the game. And they find themselves in a bowl game. Need some things to fall into place. Duke and Vanderbilt are teams they're paying attention to. Down the stretch here are the Black Knights. This is William King, good speed. Stopped at the 22-yard line. And gang tackled there. They're going to give forward progress on around the 22-yard line. Tomorrow night, join us from the hardwood right here on CBS Sports Network as our coverage of the Paradise Jam continues. Semifinals at 6 and 8:30 Eastern. Ahead of Monday night's consolation and championship games only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. That's a good-looking bracket. Got 4 good teams. The St. Joe's is always good. Creighton's ranked. They're always good. NC State and Ole Miss. Some good games down in St. Thomas. Creighton beat Wisconsin, who many say will be the top team in the Big Ten. Although your Wolverines looked pretty good the other night.
They had a couple of big wins, won their tournament. Beat Marquette.
Yeah. Two good wins at the Garden down the Hudson, about what, 50 miles.
John Bayline and Tom Izzo, 2 great coaches there in Michigan.
Yeah. Spartans are, well, they were 0-2 and played Arizona and Kentucky out of the gate. Morgan State with the ball. Gain of 2 on first down. Chris Andrews trying to put together a drive here for his offense. 5 wide they go. Quick snap, fires it. Incomplete off the hands of the target. Flag in there, back around Andrews.
It's going to be a late hit.
Yep, you got to believe it's going to be against Army. Looking for Malbro was Andrews.
Could be holding.
Yeah, it is.
Holding, offense number 75. The penalty is declined. 3rd down.
Center Cooper Clarkin.
Andrews got hit, Ben, as he threw the ball. Watch him tackle right in the middle of your screen, right there. Grabs the ankle. 2-point takedown.
Center Cooper Clarkin. Andrews pressured, got away. Tim tracking him, and Jeremy Timp, an open field tackle. Got him at the 24-yard line.
If Tim has you in his sights, He rarely misses. Good job breaking down, coming in, getting his 10th tackle of the day. Forcing a punt. Jeremy Tim coming up on 300 career tackles. He's got 297 now.
Edgar Poe back to return the punt. He had done that a lot, especially last year, but
he doesn't have the breakaway speed Magoo has, but he's sure catching the ball.
Right. Poe at the 40, took a shot. Oh, a heavy hit. Got buried right there by Dedrick Jones. That's sure-handed. That takes some focus there. And our Mercedes Spence player profile, we're going to stick with that theme. Edgar Poe and the particulars on the product of Arizona. And a touchdown earlier in this game. Some fancy footwork from Poe.
Well, going up high pointing the ball. Good throw by Bradshaw. Better catch by Poe and getting in the end zone for his 11th career touchdown. That's 6th all-time, tied for 6th in Army history.
Chris Carter's now in the game to run the Army offense with 70 seconds and counting to play in the third. The pitch near side. And how about Joe Walker, the firstie? The senior Walker shoved the defender out of the way and got the first down there. The stop was made by Terry Harris.
Set up by Christian Drake, number 8. A good block out front. Joe Walker, a lot of production last year, not near as much this year. Haven't used him as much. Nice to see him getting a big gain in his last game here at Mikey.
Gain of 23. Another product of Georgia. There's Walker. Carter, David off to Davidson. Down to the 30 goes Andy Davidson. So third Army quarterback is the young man that's been the number 2 guy, Chris Carter.
We thought we'd see him on the 3rd series. They didn't play him. He's in there playing now. And Jeff Monken told us, look, you don't want to say, hey, we're going to get ahead, but you have to plan for it, understanding you have the biggest game of your season coming up next against Navy, protecting certain guys, not wanting them to get hurt.
Give to Davidson again. Army over 330 yards on the ground. And to the third quarter here at Mikey Stadium. Army looking for their 6th win of the season on top, 39-3 after 3. Great look back at some of the highlights here from the game today. Our Bud Light game summary, Jay, what catches your eyes most importantly on this?
389 yards for Army, only 112 for Morgan State. Jay Bateman's defense has been up to the task all day long today. They've played excellent defense. They've got after it. They haven't allowed the big plays. We knew Morgan State would take shots. Jay Bateman and his defense have been up to the task.
4 sacks in the game for Bateman's defense. Army in a game, they've got to have this game. If they lose this game, they have no chance of going to a bowl game. It's gone the way we thought it would and the way Army hoped it would.
Yeah, not only winning, but winning in a way that gets you ready and gives your team some confidence getting ready to play your biggest game of the year against Navy. 4th quarter,
Army outscoring their opposition 58-31. They outgained Morgan State by 136 in the third, 140-4. 4th quarter underway. Davidson down inside of the 20. Fullbacks have come to play today. Big day for Woolfolk. Davidson a good day as well.
Closing in on 200 yards for the fullbacks.
Gain of 8. Here goes Davidson, his 2nd touchdown of the day. He started the game with a touchdown. He starts the 4th with his 2nd. And it's 45-3 Army.
That looked like the Andy Davidson we saw at the beginning of the season. Forward lean, driving through the line of scrimmage, keeping his balance, getting to the 2nd level, getting into the end zone.
19-yard run, push-ups. They're getting in today with 45 on the board. They bring on Wilson with a point after out of the hole to Bradshaw. 47-yard field goal.
That was Avery Wallace there, actually, Ben, getting in there, getting his first extra point. Army getting into the end zone. Andy Davidson, big lead for the Army Black Knights.
Andy Davidson looking like himself from the first month of the season in terms of his production. Cole Masick with a camera bomb in there. He's good at that.
I would expect to see Cole Masick coming up here.
Yeah. So,
but you can see the struggles he had the last 5 games. Not the same kind of player after the injury in the Lafayette game. Back to himself today. 107 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. The fullback position has been really good, and we got more from John Schriffen down on the field.
Well, towards the end of that third quarter, freshman offensive lineman Jackson Deaton hurried off the field and was in so much pain he actually collapsed once he got to the sideline. The training staff looked at him and they were looking closely at his right leg, and he was in obvious pain with a grimace on his face. They decided to take him into the locker room for further evaluation. He is still in the locker room right now. But you guys, when we spoke to Brent Davis yesterday, the offensive coordinator for Army, he said the offensive line's position is one position they cannot afford to lose another guy, and now down goes their freshman.
yeah, because they're already without Houghton and Kurz, so yeah, that's a tough loss, and hopefully he can get healthy ASAP. Mitchell Howard, it's revolving kickers now. As he's in there, he kicks it away, and a nice job getting down to make the tackle there by Kalen Holt. Coming up next, stick with us here on CBS Sports Network as Donnell Pumphrey continues his quest for the all-time rushing record when San Diego State battles Wyoming in a key Mountain West matchup, followed by more college football all night right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. And Donnell Pumphrey, I think you should be in New York, Jay, for the Heisman.
I am with you, Ben. I mean, when you look, if you can catch Ron Dane, and he's 346 yards away from catching Ron Dane, he deserves to be there. All 3 guys in front of him won the Heisman.
A lot more coming up to work on here at Mikey. England forcing the receiver, Lamonta Poteet, out of bounds. Early in this fourth quarter, gain of 6. Morgan State 2-7. They had a little bit of momentum a long time ago in the first quarter when it was a 10-point game, but Army's had their way with them since.
Defensively, Army has played so solid, haven't allowed much of anything.
This is Harrell, and he goes nowhere. Nautigal got to him first. Today's 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Third and 7. Loss of 3 on the play by Nautigal there on the stop. Andrews, they get him again. 5th sack of the day for the Army defense. And it's that young man again, Nautigal, in there once again.
Jay Bateman talked a lot about Nautigal when we met with him. Ben, you noted that earlier. Said, I'd love to have him on the field. I'd try and develop plays just to get him on the field. You can see the athleticism that he has. Just 2 guys in King and Tim playing in front of him that are so good.
Sophomore out of Wisconsin. Nautigal with his 2nd sack of the day. Wow. Off the inside of his foot. And it'll be touched at the 44-yard line. That's where Army will have it with 12.5 to play in the 4th after a 31-yard punt. All Army, their offense back on when we come back. 12:29 to play in the 4th quarter. Army looking for win number 6 here today to become They hope bowl eligible down the road. Their last bowl game, though, came back in 2010, the Armed Forces Bowl. They beat SMU for a 16-14 win down in Dallas. And it would mean an awful lot to this group, Jay, and to Monken and his staff to get this team to a bowl game, however you want to look at it. If they get help, so be it. They just want to get in.
Well, if they win this game, which obviously it looks like they will, up 43 points here in the fourth quarter, then they play Navy next week. That would get them bowl eligible if they beat Navy, because the Lafayette win doesn't count towards bowl eligibility. But they can get in, as you said, you know, if they have this 6 wins, even though one doesn't count with Lafayette, because there's not going to be enough 6-win teams that qualify as bowl eligible. You look at the APR ratings, that's what they would look at. And you talked about earlier, I thought it was a very good point, Ben. Duke and Vandy, those are the 2 games that would play a big role.
Here's Carter in for his second series. They drop him at the 40. Yeah, we're going to go back to that. And
well, Duke plays Pitt in Miami.
Right.
Vandy plays Ole Miss in Tennessee. So 4 tough games for both of those teams, and it would go a long way to helping Army get in if Duke and Vandy lose both of those games.
Well,
but that's not how they want to get in. They want to get in winning this game and then go beating their arch rival Navy.
Right. Loss of 5 on that last play. Carter dealt with a hand injury for a couple of weeks. And we're glad to have him back and healthy. Played the majority of the game last week down in San Antonio against Notre Dame. Handoff to Andy Davidson here. And that's going to bring up a third. They're going to need about 1.5 yards to get the first down. Tackle made by Rico Kennedy.
Carter was 0 for 5 passing against Notre Dame. Struggled throwing. The whole team did.
Yeah.
The very first play, giving up the kickoff return, it just put him on a downward spiral.
Really did. Never able to recover. Down big in that game at halftime. They're up big here today. That's what they care about now. Army 6 of 9 on third down. Carter dropped. Good job coming off that right side. They get to him. It was Kennedy that got in there. Young man wearing number 28 in honor of his late friend Brandon Jackson, who played here.
Such a great tribute by Rico Kennedy. Brandon Jack, just a tragic story. It broke our hearts earlier in the season when we heard about that, found out. Obviously, everyone here at Army so heartbroken.
Yep. Early morning hours of 9/11, killed in the car accident. So Moat's on to punt. King's back to return around his 20. He waits. This punt will roll out at the 33-yard line. With 10:20 remaining in the fourth. Monken talking to another punter. Poor guy.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing. By MCOR. Build, power, service, protect. By Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. And by PenFed Credit Union. Proud supporter of America's Army.
And 20 to go in the fourth quarter. New quarterback for Morgan State, DeAndre Harris now in the game. Lamont Brown in at the tailback spot. He's on the near side. Once we're on the game cam, you'll see him. Banks is the other back in there. He played one series early in the game. We were both kind of miffed by why that happened, but he did, and that's what they chose to do. And went back to Andrews and got going. Catch made by Grayling Harrison. He's a redshirt senior.
Harris has thrown for 360 yards this year, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. A young guy, doesn't really know the whole offense. Fred Ferrier told us that he's overwhelmed at times with all the information.
Second and 9. Open man. The fullback, and he dropped it. Banks.
Harris's pass incomplete, intended for Banks.
3rd and 9 coming up. Armed Forces football proudly supported by Northrop Grumman today here on CBS Sports Network.
Banks has dropped a couple of passes here today. Talked to him before the game. He's a former student of my brother in high school.
I figured there was a tie. Did he go to Plant? He didn't go to Plant.
He went to Wharton High School in Tampa.
Right.
My brother John was his teacher.
Good student.
I believe so. The teacher was good.
Of course he was. Here's Harris. And Regan got over there. Nice play by Max Regan. They looked for Poteet. Job by him. He played quite a bit last week too, did Regan.
When you look to the future for Army, they're trying to develop depth. It's one thing they haven't had, and then when they have injuries, they're not able to overcome it. This goes a long way in developing depth. Obviously, they've had to play freshmen at corner throughout the year.
Cole waiting the punt. 9th punt of the day. He's averaged 28.9. Edgar Poe makes the fair catch at the 31. Where Army will have it when we come back. 9:19 to play in the ball game. That is the offensive coordinator at Army. Shades on, Brent Davis. His fullbacks have been outstanding today, Jay. We take a look at our Northrop Grumman most valuable performers today. It's the fullbacks, Davidson and Woolfolk.
Yeah, it's plural today. I mean, you can't pick one or the other. 215 yards, 3 touchdowns among both of them. That's been the key to this offense, being able to run the fullback. When they were winning earlier in the season, it was because they had fullback success. A couple of big wins against Temple, Wake. Nice run by Woolfolk there.
8.6 a carry, the two have averaged today, and they get the nod. 200-yard rushers. Davidson at 120 to open the season. That great win that Monken's guys had against Temple in Philadelphia. Things were looking up. So Carter's back in his 3rd series of the game. Cole Masick is the fullback, number 13 behind him. Toss though instead to Walker, and he jumps over teammate down there. Jordan Cry made the stop on him, but a good run and a first down for the firstie, the senior Joe Walker, gain of 12.
Good job blocking downfield. Schufert inside, 74 and 75 for Army, getting Joe Walker free. A lot of guys getting playing time here. You know, they work all year. They don't get the opportunity to get in. Excited for this opportunity.
Masick. He breaks through. Cole Masick. He's making noise. His nickname is Noise. How's that for noise? 56-yard run for Masick. And Army has reached the 50-point plateau once again here at Mikey.
They're going to hear about that one this week.
The whole team will.
Cole Masick, not shy. One of the great personalities on that team.
Yep.
We had a good time a few weeks ago talking to him after the Lafayette game.
He held court.
He did. You're right. And it shocked us.
Yeah. Here's Howard. 53-3, Jay. A 50-point lead for Army.
That's the 3rd different kicker to kick an extra point today. They're still having kicking tryouts.
Yep.
There's Masick busting through, continuing Army to have fullback success throughout the day. First Woolfolk, then Davidson, now Masick.
So Cole Masick. So the reason I referenced noise and we talked about that was there was a newspaper article that was in the B-back room, as Davis cheers that on, the B-back room, the fullback room, and it said, the headline said, Masick makes noise. Well, Cole Masick put it up in there. I'm glad he's so shy.
Yes, exactly.
13, Cole Masick there, a 56-yard run.
271 yards, 4 touchdowns for the fullbacks. I said one of my keys at the beginning of the game for Morgan State, stop the fullbacks. Safe to say they have not done that.
Yep, so long gray line still doing push-ups over there in the Corps of Cadets.
I think Schriffen should be doing push-ups with him down there.
I agree. It's our last game here this season at Army. Maybe he should body surf his way up the Corps of Cadets. I want to see that. Short kick tackled. The 34-yard line was Gerard Reed. His second return of the day. So we've been telling you about Army and what they need. They need this game, which they're going to win. But the college football playoff, Jay, the top 10, here we go.
Well, when you talk about the teams that are going to get in, I believe that those two teams, Alabama and Clemson, are in. The winner of this game right here next week, Ohio State, Michigan, they're going to get in. Then when you look at who's going to be next, I think it's Washington. They got a great opportunity. They play Washington State in the Apple Cup, Oklahoma.
We'll get back to that. Harris back in again. Finds Malbrough, makes the catch, and pick up about 9 on it. That's what they're going to give him. And we go back to it, Jay.
Oklahoma, they got the big game right here against West Virginia today. That goes a long way. Then their arch rival, Oklahoma State. They got 2 tough games left. Who knows who's going to get in on that 4th spot? Ohio State, you know, Louisville's probably out. That was your team. You thought for sure, and I'm with you. I thought they were going to get in.
Yeah, I said this week as Harrell carries and gets a first down, I said, here's what I think is a certainty. Alabama's in and Louisville's in, and then Louisville loses that night.
And I don't think anybody wanted to play Louisville because of the action. Can he still win the Heisman? I think he's still the front runner. There's opportunities, though, for everybody else because he struggled in that game and they lost. Opportunities for everybody else to make a statement, whether it's Jonathan Allen at Alabama, Jabril Peppers at Michigan, even J.T. Barrett at Ohio State.
Right. Here comes another sack for Army's defense. 6 sacks in the ball game for Bateman's defense. He's getting some guys in there that don't play a whole lot. And he gets in Amadeo West, a freshman there for the sack.
Jay Bateman promised us he would bring pressure. He came through on that promise. He's brought pressure all day.
Rock me Amadeus.
West fired up, getting his opportunity.
Very nice. Harris keeps open field. He's dropped. They're going to give him the 42-yard line. Clock continues to move. Coming up on 6 minutes to play. 1st and 10 line brought to you today by Navy Federal Credit Union. 3rd and 14 upcoming. We've had an awful lot of fun with Bateman this year, and really all the staff. And one thing I always say here is a pleasure and an honor, and it really is. The 5 seasons I've been here at home, and those guys make it easy. Downfield, overthrows the target. They're just great people, and they care, and everyone here has been great to us.
Yeah, they understand the challenge that it is to try and win, and they're up to that challenge. They believe we're not going to make excuses. We're going to find a way to continue to recruit, to bring better players in here. They want to win the CIC. They're not going to do it this year. They lost to Air Force. Air Force won it. That's their #1 goal. But Jeff Monken is building, and he has a staff to build around. They believe that they have the blueprint in place for success.
For Army.
Pull back inside of the 25. Good high punt. Poe the fair catch. Down at the 22-yard line. So with 5:55 to play and a 50-point lead, Army's offense comes back on the field after a 41-yard punt.
41 looked like 60 the
It
way
did.
they've been punting the ball today. Both teams.
Heavy right for them.
So Carter leads the offense back on.
Ben, I've heard a lot of networks, a lot of people talk about Army getting into the Cure Bowl.
Yeah.
That's December 17th. They can't play in that game. They can't play in a bowl until after the 22nd if they're able to get into a bowl game.
Yeah, finals. And they would be unable to travel. And yeah, that's a good point by you. There's going to be options. I mean, they're 6-5, but the reality is they're 5-5 for bowl eligibility. Or they're going to be 6-5.
I think that's safe to say with 5 minutes left.
Yeah,
with a 50-point lead.
We're in good shape. Mason trying to make more noise.
If he kept his feet, he would have scored.
He's a fun young man to talk to. He came in the Lafayette game and stepped in for Davidson.
He got hurt on the first series of that game.
Yep. He only had 1 for 11 carries and yards that day, and Masick had a 100-yard day at career. I only had 6 carries prior to that game in his entire career. 30-yard. Carter keeps. First down. Army just trying to run this thing out. Chew up the remaining time. Ball at the 30. It's first down. A lot of time. You've referenced it a few times, Jay. In between this game for Monken's guys and the Navy game on the 10th. Lost the Air Force a few weeks back. Stung them, certainly. Masick carries again.
And Navy's a good team. They're 7-2. They beat Notre Dame. The Notre Dame team that put it on Army last week. The big key will be turnovers in that game.
They beat Houston, too.
Yes, exactly. Big win against Houston or just beat Louisville. Army this year 4-0 when they don't commit a turnover. 1-5, going to be 2-5 after this game when they do commit a turnover.
This Carter follows the left side. How about the effort for Carter? Oh my goodness, what a great run. That's a terrific effort by Chris Carter. Army strong, folks. That was awesome by Carter.
Chris Carter came into the game averaging 6.6 yards per carry. You can see why. He's got speed and he's got power. Continuing to run. That's just a tired defense there for Morgan State.
17-yard pickup. Ball from the 48 of Morgan State. Here goes Masick. Takes on the defender. Gets to the 45-yard line. William White, the stop.
White again made the stop.
Jeff Monken told us he was not happy with his team after Wednesday's practice. That it was lethargic. Part of that is lack of sleep. You know, they just had been through so much with all the exams and their schedule that we've showed and talked about often. No excuses, though. We have to come out and perform. Got after his team. They've responded today. Played the way they should against a team that's not as good as them.
Toss for St. Hilaire. He got it there. Masick.
St. Hilaire on the carry.
Productive in his time here. 70 yards on the ground for Cole. Masick. Elijah St. Hilaire. A lot of guys rotating in there now. 12 different Army players have carried the ball today so far. Masick, the fullback behind Carter. California product. Flags fly.
Timeout. Army. The second charge timeout. This is a 30-second timeout.
2:07 left. An Army timeout. So let's look back at Boise State, Wyoming. Wyoming coming up next against San Diego State. And Boise State used a trick play to take an 8-point lead. Wyoming came back. Tanner Gentry. Great catch in the back of the end zone. 2-point conversion not shown. The defense stood up and did the job. And Wyoming beat its first-ranked opponent since '02. So coming up when we're done here from West Point and some of the other big games today, Jay.
One of the biggest. Ohio State, Michigan State.
Tied?
Down 1, Michigan State, 17-16 right now.
List of them there coming your way, and that would throw a further wrench into the college football playoff.
Absolutely.
I mean, the last couple of weeks. Here goes Masick, and he's tripped up, man. did he want another one? You could see it from up here, the way he was running. Rico Kennedy stopped him, though. Gain of 13.
And he had such a good game against Lafayette, and then we haven't seen him again until this game.
Right. Seen him again. Head down. He's approaching 100 yards. Out to Pennsylvania. Gain of 7. He's got 90 yards now, they tell us.
If he gets 10 more, you're going to have 3 fullbacks over 100 yards rushing in a game. Most college teams now don't have a fullback have 100 yards in a season.
Right. Here's a toss to St. Hilaire. Cut block on the outside. And he takes it to the 20. Should be a first down. It is with 1:11 remaining. The clock will stop until they set, and then Army will just run this thing down, and they'll have a victory. Here goes Basic! Cole Basic over 100 and his second touchdown of the day. There's some more noise. 19-yard run. Army with a chance to score 60 points for the 3rd time this season. As Howard comes on and will try to tack on the point after. 7 for 109 for noise. That's what I'm calling him now. Easy one there for Cole Masick. Howard's true, and it's 60-3. .43 seconds left, and Jay, we talked about it a little bit earlier about 3 guys over 100. Here you go.
Davidson with 111. Masick now with 108. Woolfolk, who got there first, with 104. 5 touchdowns between the 3 of them. I'm going to say that Jeff Monken, I'm going out on a limb here. I'm going to say that Jeff Monken is going to be happy with his fullback production. He wasn't at halftime. We kind of joked about it.
But he's still a coach.
Yes, they're never satisfied.
Right, exactly. 10.1 per carry.
That's pretty good, huh?
5 touchdowns. Not bad. That's like video game-like.
With the 19
So there's Monken with his guys. They'll kick it away, and
Army now has amassed
as we
504 rushing yards on the
inch closer to the end of the game, we mentioned it earlier about the coaches and
total in the end zone is now
saying thanks to them, and so many great people here at Army. Boo Corrigan, the athletic director. CBS, we're all proud of the relationship we have with Army. Bob Beretta, all the sports information staff. That man there, Bob Caslin, the superintendent. We see him often around the football offices and sometimes on post. So we tip our cap and salute all those folks for all they do to help us. And we truly thank them. Ball came loose. And they'll unfurl the pile here. 38 seconds remaining in the game.
Jones on the return recovered his own fumble.
So Davidson, 18 carries. Woolfolk, 7. Masick, 7. 5 touchdowns for that group. There is another newspaper article with Masick in it. I'm sure it's going to be in that room on the wall like the other one is.
You might not let him put 2 of them.
Yeah, he may call the local paper, go on Twitter and put it out there. Brown the carry. Morgan State looks like they're going to line up, run another play. Got time, 20 seconds. We're done here. We'll have, of course, the West Point alma mater. We always do. Post-game portion of our broadcast. And that's going to be the final play of the game. Army a victor, 60-3. They beat Morgan State in the home finale for Jeff Monken and his guys here today at Michie Stadium. First 6-win season in 6 years for Army. 1 to play. It's against Navy on December 10th. And Army takes 1 step closer to becoming a bowl-eligible team. They have 6 wins, but only 5 of those count towards bowl eligibility. As they make their way over to the Corps of Cadets, the long gray line, where they'll sing the West Point alma mater. You'll see and hear that. Morgan State's band is here as well. But it looks like Army is going down to Morgan State's band first. And as you see the coaches, Jeff Monken there and Ferrier there meeting one another, they're going to go down all the players and the staffs and take part in the Morgan State alma mater first before we hear the West Point alma mater. Show of respect for Jeff Monken and his guys. Sure exactly how that worked out, but they're doing it first. Let's listen now to that. So the Morgan State alma mater. And now the Black Knights go down in front of 4,400 strong, the Corps of Cadets, for the playing of the West Point alma mater. It'll be a happy one for Monken and his guys. Morgan State's team will come down and take part as well as now the West Point alma mater. To beat Navy, and with 7 wins. Back with more from Mikey Stadium after this. Corps of Cadets, long gray line, making their way out. Big win for Army. John Triffin down on the field with a victorious Jeff Monken.
Well, Ben, thank you so much, Coach. Your point of emphasis at the half, you wanted to run the ball more in the second half. You had 100 yards more rushing than the first. How'd you do that?
I think we blocked them a little bit better. Guys ran the ball hard. We broke some tackles. I'll give Morgan State credit. They did a good job. They did. Their kids fought and did a nice job against the run, especially early on.
Some things you had to work on, your special teams. You actually put your kicker out there in a long field goal. What'd you think of the kicking performance?
Oh, we got a lot of work to do on the kicking game. Fumbling a punt, dropping a punt, snapping the ball over the guy's head. We were going to try a 2-point conversion there. And, I mean, just a lot of stuff to work on. It's frankly a little frustrating, but, you know, good news is we didn't have to pay the ultimate price. We get a chance to play again. So.
Well, the big one is up next against Navy. What is the mindset going into that game, and what's the biggest thing you need to work on?
We just got to pour everything we've got into this game. There's no bigger game in college football than the Army-Navy game. So if we can't get ready for that one, we'll never be ready. So we got 3 weeks. We'll get back to work, and hopefully our guys will focus in on doing their job a little bit better. We're going to need to. Navy's got a great team.
Good win. Congratulations, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, let's get Andrew King in here. On senior day, Andrew King comes up big as always. Love the smile. You know, a lot of emotion on today. Describe what it was like to go out on such a dominating performance, your last performance here at Mikey Stadium.
It feels great, you know. This victory, it means a lot for our team in general, like especially for the seniors. So last time at Mikey Stadium, we definitely got out with a bang, but this gives us an opportunity to become bowl eligible. So, but you know, we can't focus on that. That's out of our control at this point. But you know, we're gonna get prepared for our next game.
You know, early on, it looked like Morgan State was hanging around in this game, and then it looked like you guys just kind of put your foot on the pedal, and then it wasn't even close. What did you change up there?
You know, they're a tough team. They have talented players and good coaching. So in the beginning, we needed to focus on our assignments. A lot of people mess up on our assignments, including me and myself. But you know, we got past that. We can continue to push, and then we see the final result.
The big one is up next against Navy. What is the mindset going into that one? You're a senior. It'll be their first chance to get a win against Navy.
Yeah, you know, you take it day by day. You know, everyone focus on their assignments leading up into that matchup. You know, we have a couple weeks until then. You know, we're going to get rested, get people who are hurt, healthy right now. You know, watch the film from this game, fix our mistakes, and then we can move on forward from there.
Congratulations, rest up. Good luck against Navy. All right, we got one more interview. Andy Davidson. He's been banged up for most of the year. Andy, a great game today. First off, how are you feeling health-wise?
I'm feeling good, feeling a lot better these past couple weeks, a little banged up, but getting better and getting ready for this big one coming up.
Coach really emphasized running the ball at the half. What did he tell you? What did you change?
He told us just to keep picking it up and keep moving it, and we had a couple 3-and-outs at the end of the half, and that's unacceptable with our offense. So we just picked it up and got the ball moving.
307 push-ups. You guys put points on the board. What do you think is really clicking right now?
I think everything's clicking, starting even with our defense. They're getting them off the field. I don't know how many 3-and-outs they have, but they had a bunch, which gives us good field position. And then the offensive line's moving them, making it easy for us. So I think it all starts there and goes on from there.
A good win and good luck against Navy.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Ben, back to you.
Thanks, John, and thanks to Jeff Monken and King and Davidson. Great young men.
All the seniors.
How about this moment, Jay? Rico Kennedy was wearing number 28 for the late Brandon Jackson with Jeff Monken after the game.
There are things that are more important than football.
Yep, it's been a fun year.
Absolutely. A pleasure.
And an honor. For Jay, John, all of our great crew, we appreciate all they do for us. Couldn't do it without them. My name is Ben Holden. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. It was our pleasure to bring it to you from Mikey Stadium. Big win on senior day for Army. They win 60-3. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. We're done here in New York, but now let's send it to Carter Blackburn, Aaron Taylor, and Jenny Dell and Laramie for San Diego State and Wyoming.